Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the stream. Hope you guys are all doing well. Today we're back with the Legendary Lords Tournament, but it's not going to be just the Lords you see on the screen. Just a little bit of a teaser of what's to come. So this is going to be the elimination stages of the tournament. So basically it becomes very similar to a faction war. It's single elimination and yeah, if you lose once, you're out. So we are in the final brackets. We are doing essentially probably 11 or 12 replays today in total from the elimination rounds, and then we'll have one more stream. And then after that second stream, we'll be having our grand finals for the event. Yeah, Deathmaster is going to be up today. There's going to be a ton of Lords that are getting some action today. So how you guys doing? Welcome, welcome. Life is good. It's time for some Legendary Lords Tournament. I know this one's been taking quite some time, but we've had other things going on. Trying to balance the World Championship streams with obviously the dreaded move, which is now pretty much over. So all is good. Yeah. How you guys doing? Life treating you well? Well, I'm just turning off my phone real quick so I don't get any interruptions during the event. Yes, good, Anakin, good. So I'll show you the bracket here in just a moment. Let's go ahead and pull that bad boy up. And going to the bracket for today, you can see it's a pretty big event. So obviously we started off with, I think, what, 70-something Lords, or pretty much, yeah, every single Legendary Lord in the game. So these are the remaining Lords after the group stages. The group stages, of course, was a little bit different. We had each Lord playing 2 or 3 games, or 3 games obviously. But now we're on to elimination. So you can see here, these are the brackets for the event. And we have, Archeon versus Rakarth up here. We have Tic-Tac-Toe facing off against Ark in the Black. We have Mazdamundi versus Boris Todbringer. A lot of fun matchups. So we're going to be going through about a little bit more than half of these today. And then from there, once we get to round 3 and beyond, so you can see round 3, 4, and 5, and semifinals and finals and all that sort of good stuff, that's all going to be on one stream. So this is going to be like Faction War. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. So that's pretty much the same as Faction War. Yeah, it's the current patch. These replays are fresh. They are fresh indeed. Is the High King still alive? I don't think he made it, unfortunately, but 2 other dwarves did. Ungrim Iron Fist made it through. Belegar made it through. And I think, was there another one? Grombrindal made it through as well. Yeah, so the dwarves did really well in the elimination rounds, actually. 3 Dwarf Lords made it through in total, which is really, really good. So yeah, these are the brackets. It is listed by player name, but we have Sigvald versus Grombrindal here. We have Skrulk facing off against Turin. We have the Red Duke against Grimgor. We have Tank, of course, as Vlad facing off against Grom the Paunch, which is going to be our first game, actually. Heinrich Kemmler against the Mountain King, Belegar. And then here we have Isabella von Karstein versus Deathmaster Snitch. And yeah, a lot more matches. Some of them aren't done yet, obviously, but yeah. Some are, and we're going to be going through. Teclis, yeah, I'm actually playing Teclis, but unfortunately, I'm just learning High Elves, and I have to face Zyphos. That's going to be a hard fight, but you will be seeing that one today. Yeah, it's a really, really good scrap, for sure. Not going to spoil anything, but it was pretty good. It was pretty good indeed. All right, guys, that is it. Grom is here. Grom's going to be our first game, so let's go ahead and load into the local recording here for our first match of the day. Let's fire this bad boy up and have some fun. That's pretty much it. So for the forces here of the Greenskins, they're going to be led by ODM Marquis, I believe. Or is he ODM or XMT? I think he's ODM. It's going to be Marquis facing off against Tank of Clan VM. So Tank, of course, is our resident Vampire Count specialist. Let's go ahead and take a look at his build here. For the front line, it's going to be Cryptors backed up by double Vargulf, which is good. Vargulfs have good mass. They can beat down Grom the Paunch for sure, and also do pretty well against Stone Trolls and Basic Trolls. But double Vargulf. We do have a double Cryptor as well, a single White King, Vlad on foot, and a Necromancer. So let us know in chat. Who are you guys rooting for? Vlad von Karstein or Grom the Paunch? I think I already know the answer for about 90% of you guys. So, yeah, we'll see how it goes. Yeah. Kevin Robinson, yes, there'll be more late night Magic streams. Don't you worry. I'm going to do probably like 2 or 3 throughout the week, this next coming week. So you'll be all set, my friend. And for the Greenskin Force, it is going to be Savage Orcs, backed by more Savage Orc Biggins, backed by more Savage Orc Era Boys, and we got Grom of the Paunch, Basic Trolls, as well as a Goblin Big Boss. So this is one style of play that's been used quite heavily against Vampire Counts. Basically just Savage Orc spam with Savage Orc Era Boys, because what's good about Savage Orc Era Boys in this matchup is that if your opponent does want to try and shut them down with zombie summons, they're actually pretty meaty in combat. They can beat down the zombies very quickly, and typically can escape the wrath that is coming. Really good Scabscraith, though, by Tank. Brutal indeed. Man, look at that. The AP Loonies get absolutely eviscerated. Scabscraith is probably one of the better items in multiplayer, in my opinion. And here we have the Savage Orc Air Boys now shooting into the Vargulfs, forcing them back. And Grom the Paunch, of course, a Chariot character, but deceivingly powerful in combat, especially against light armor. And on the impact there, he really does do quite a bit against that Vargulf and is able to force him back. Also a little bit unfortunate from a matchup perspective for Vlad. Vlad having to face a chariot character that can really deal with infantry is a little bit unfortunate for him, but we will see how it goes. Vlad's getting in there. That Scab Scrape, a really, really good start here for the Vampire Count. Certainly off to a little bit of a better lead, having gotten that big burst damage on an expensive unit. But now the bump and grind begins, and if the Vampires decide to sit in too tight of a formation, the Savage Orc Air Boys are basically just going to be tearing them apart. So Vargeist on the far side for tank. Not sure where they're going to be going. It looks like they were kind of eyeing the cavalry here, but they have to be very careful. The Spider Riders and or the Orc Boarboy Biggins all can do some serious work. And oh, is that going to be a Winds of Death? Oh yeah, Winds of Death coming in. Look at that, and it goes through. Does it get the other ones? Oh my god, brutal Winds of Death. It goes through those Savage Orcs, tears through the Biggins as well as the AP Gloonies. Holy shit, that was a great Winds of Death. And you can see the bounce of power already going into the favor of Vlad von Karstein. Now, some dreaded tactical reserves in the back. It looks like the Crypt Horrors will be pulling up to fight now, but you know what I would probably do is rotate them up and around the top here, get these Vargulfs in, but it looks like Tank is going to be committing to the blob fight pretty hard, which is kind of like a ticking time bomb. Because again, if he doesn't deal with the Greenskin Daka, the Daka is going to be able to focus super heavily on all the Crypt Horrors and the big monsters and things like that. But it looks like Vlad von Karstein is basically just getting in there and, you know, committing to the grind. But I don't know if it's going to work out for him. Like, the Vargeist haven't yet been activated. It looks like now they're going to be jumping down, going after the Savage Orc Air Boys. But really good reaction here by Marquis. He gets the Orc Boarboy Biggins, he pulls back, and these Wild Hogs are going to be just rolling dirty here and chasing down the Vargeist. But Tank should get away without taking too much damage. The other Vargeist looking to engage against the Savage Orc Air Boys. I think Tank is starting to realize the amount of damage he's taking from the Daka is certainly unacceptable. The Crypt Horrors are getting pounded. Vargulfs, though, on the far side seem to have had a pretty good fight. Vlad is in Mortal Kombat as well. It looks like he's fighting, I think, a heroic character. It looks like the Goblin Big Boss. Nice Brain Buster going down there. Clears out some of the skeletons, but yeah, pretty even battle. The bounce power was a little bit in the favor here of the Vampire Counts after that Winds of Death, but now it's starting to creep back a little bit as the Greenskin Firepower is doing a really good job, and the Vargeist are struggling to get their value, but they do jump in here, go after the Savage Orc Air Boys once again. Really good gooning here by Tank as well. The Vargulfs move in, going after the Orc Shaman. He's immune to Psychology right now from the WAP, but he should terror out here in just a moment from the big monsters nearby. We'll see it. 1, 2, and 3. No terror out. I guess I was wrong. I'll see what the Vargulfs can get done. But Vargulfs, you know, in a good position, fighting a couple weaker Greenskin characters via the Goblin Big Boss, and Grom isn't going to, like, burn them down super quick. Unfortunately for Tank, though, losing a 1,000 gold Vargeist unit, which didn't really do that much in the first place, is a pretty unfortunate situation. But the rest of his army seems to be holding, although numbers looking a little bit thin. We have the White King Vlad and the Necromancer. As far as chaff goes, we got some zombies left, and the Greenskin Daka seems more or less secure. We have the Savage Orc Air Boys here in the backfield, and they're just, you know, shooting quite happily. Do we have any other archer units in the distance that are perhaps coming back? It looks like there's some Savage Orcs here, but no, I guess what you see is what you got. So it's only the 3 Savage Orc Air Boy units, but that's probably enough to bring down the big monsters. And you can see the bounce of power is really starting to reflect the thin nature here of this Vampire Count army. They've really run out of resources, and really it's just monsters fighting now. And monsters do not want to be fighting Savage Orc Biggins alone. They don't want to be taking shots from Savage Orc Air Boys, who I'm surprised they know how to use bows, those guys, but they're, it feels like the bows aren't truly savage enough. You know, they want to get in there, they want to use their axes, but you know, it is what it is. So Tank is in his last stand here. He's got Vlad von Karstein, he's got the Vargulfs, but the amount of firepower pouring in, unmitigated, too much, man. And here comes the Vargeist pouring over, trying to deal with them, but the little Spider Riders that should be able to move in with Grom the Punch, the ultimate big chungus, and it looks like the Vargeist will be getting karate chopped here as they wither down to -50 leadership. Good night, sweet princes, your mohawks will be missed. And now, for the first time in the game, the bounce of power does go into the favor of the Greenskins here, as all that Tank has left really is the White King, the Necromancer, of course, with his 45 armor, not going to be the tankiest of Vlads on his corpse guard. And Vlad von Karstein, who is, you know, he's very used to being the last man standing, but the Vargulfs are also gone. It was a close fight for sure. You know, we're approaching the 6-minute mark here. There was some back and forth, some early leads there, but the Greenskins were able to just secure their missile lines, and the Vampires had no Hounds, they had no Fellbats, they didn't really have too much cheap disruption. They had Vargeist, but committing a Vargeist and then losing them is just like a brutal, brutal situation. So yes, the Wah resounds once more in the valley, my friends, as Vlad von Karstein is grinded to dust here by the Greenskin Horde. The Wild Hogs have surrounded him. I think Wild Hogs is probably one of the most haggard movies I've ever seen, just hands down. Yeah, Vlad he tried his best. He tried his best for sure. The Vargeist pick, I'm a little bit on the fence about. I feel like the Greenskins have too much that's good at killing Vargeists. You know, because that's 2,000 gold that could have been used for like some things like Black Knights or maybe even a Blood Knight would have been really good here. Because the Greenskin army, you know what, Orc Boarboy Biggins, they're going to get annihilated by like a Blood Knight or something, right? So, I don't know, just thinking about it. White King here getting bumped and grinded. He is not happy either. There are trolls in here. Trolls have good AP, and then the Waz down, giving a massive armor-piercing boon. Nice little Scab Scraith as well. But yeah, it's going to be Vlad versus the world, which we've seen a million times. Grom the Paunch can obviously cycle charge if he wants to. Where the hell is Grom? Yeah, Grom's sitting out here just regenerating HP. Just kind of probably eating a drumstick of chicken. Who knows? That's kind of what he does. And Vlad with another zombie summon, though. Tank really scrapping till the bitter end. Zombie summon probably not going to save him. And there goes Grom the Paunch, moving in, pushing the White King out of the formation, actually. The White King does get Shrek'd pretty good. Critical binding, negative leadership. Vlad is probably just going to suffer army losses, which is the most efficient way to actually kill Vlad. He is very tanky, especially with his Von Karstein ring, so hopefully you guys don't mind the fast forwarding. But at this point, I've seen this a million times. It's a bit of a foregone conclusion. You know, it's just going to be a grind with zombie summons and Vlad making his valiant last stand as the Air Boys now start to shoot in there. And yeah, the Greenskins pull back, which is pretty funny. And now Grom can just cycle charge him, and you know, Grom will be able to deal with Vlad, no problem. Army losses kicking in. Vlad tanking through army losses like a champ. And GG, well played. Grom the Paunch claiming first blood here. Not a big surprise. Grom is a very powerful lord, certainly a favorite in this tournament. So we will see how it goes. Flying Taco in chat says, yes, Tank's build was odd, had a lot of ranged, large, low armor units and limited tools to shut down ranged. Yeah, I agree. It was a little bit strange, but you know, maybe he was trying something off meta. And this is a good format because this is a very casual, fun tournament. So it's a good place to try those things. Yeah, this build's good. You know, this is kind of like, I remember when I first was learning the post-green skin matchup versus vampire counts. This is like similar to a build that Aerocrastic showed me that worked really well. It's basically Savage Orc Pagans with Savage Orc Arrow Boys and some light mass to just protect those Arrow Boys. It's good. So now we can switch on over to the old web browser. So let's go ahead and do that. And here we go. We can update the bracket for the day. So that is going to be a victory for, let's go ahead and do this, report scores. And that's going to be a victory for Grom the Paunch. So Grom will be advancing to face Professor Pone and Imrik, actually, which is going to be an interesting one. I mean, at least Imrik has anti-large, so he can potentially, you know, goon out Grom. But that's certainly a situation that's probably very greenskin favored, just based on like Imrik being a suboptimal lord for the High Elves. And yeah, we're going to be doing that one today, though. That one will be a little bit later on. So going back now, we will prepare for the next match. Thank you all for joining. Hope you're doing well. Let's get some business going. Although you guys probably want to look at some value, huh? So let's go ahead and jump back here and look at some value. Yes, good. Vlad, wow, Vlad actually got 3,000 value. That's pretty crazy, but that's from the Winds of Death, obviously, that we had in the early game. Varguys just got shut down, not even accruing half their value. And Grom the Paunch was just, you know, a big chungus doing his thing. Arrow Boys, holy shit, 2225 or 2255 value on those Savage Orc Arrow Boys. Just shows like that DACA against all this big light armor. Really, really brutal stuff for sure. All right, next match of the day, my friends. We're going to be loading in. What do we want to see? Let's go ahead, since Flying Taco's here in chat, and watch his game. It's going to be Nakai facing off against the Slayer King. So Slayer King here being controlled by the great Seiss Phenom, facing off against the Dreadlord Flying Taco, ECL champion. Going to be coming in with Nakai and the big beat stick. Should be quite a bit of fun. Hey, yes, it was a pleasure playing against you as well, CJ. Yeah, you don't see normal trolls too often. He probably just had like just enough money to get them and just couldn't afford the stone trolls. Although stone trolls against vampire counts aren't as necessary. You know, I guess the armor helps on stone trolls, but the magic resist and missile resist, you don't really, you know, like paying for that's kind of like not that great against vampires. So, Flying Taco, I got you, man. I got you covered. Going into the recording here, my friends, we have Nakai, led by the great Flying Taco, facing off against Seiss Phenom and the Slayer King. So for the army of the Slayer King, going to be double cannons. Cannons are quite good against lizards, as you could imagine. It's going to be Ironbreakers backed with Thunders, blasting charges on the flanks, Longbeards, double Slayer, Ungrim, plus a Runesmith as well. So there's going to be triple gun, double cannon, a fair amount to protect for sure, but with the Slayers and whatnot, it should be A-okay. Now for the forces of the Dreadlord Flying Taco, he's got Ripperdactyls up in the sky, Pterodon Riders. His ground force here is going to be a Stegodon. And talk about the most convenient building of all time. He can actually hide behind this ruined church with his Stegodon plus Nakai, which is pretty damn funny. Oh my god, look at this! The tactical terrain usage! Oh my god! So yeah, like the entire Lizardman army is hiding here, which is hilarious. Oh my god, that is so troll. He does have Crocsgores and Skinks, so the main battle line is mainly red-crested Skinks with basic Skinks. He's got his Smash Squad here, which is going to be double Feral Stegodon. I think, yeah, it looks like double Feral Stegodon, Nakai plus the Skink Priest, and up in the sky he's got Ripperdactyls. Now, of course, this is a little bit tough for the dwarves, but it's not the biggest deal in the world. You can grab your 2 dwarven cannons and start ripping into the Ripperdactyls, for example. But aside from that, most of the targets are indeed hidden. Oh my god, that is so freaking funny. And the Lizardman army is going to be getting its surround now, and the Dwarven guns will be turning about face to shoot at the Chameleon Skinks. Obviously not the most feel-good situation, and you could also probably hit the Kroxigors too. The Kroxigors aren't fully hidden behind the house, and yeah, I'm surprised Nakai's, he's so massive, how can he fit behind that house there? But now the Lizards have advanced out with their main force. You can see the Feral Stegodons moving out, so now the cannons should basically just be switched onto these bad boys, and it's really not, you know, too much of a big deal. Switch the cannons onto the Feral Stegodon, onto Nakai. Probably sniping Nakai is your best bet. Taking the head off the Lizardman snake, metaphorically speaking, would be quite good. Now, Lizardmen going for a bit of a full surround, obviously. These Skinks are pretty quick. They have speed in the 40, so if they want to, they can surround this force. We got Skinks in the backfield, which are really good at poking Slayers. It's one of the main problems with having Slayers actually defend your back line. And now the guns are shooting in. It looks like the Feral Stegodon's going to be ramrodding into the blasting charges, and that is a lot of Lizardman pressure coming in. We do also get a Feral Manscore summon, and the Slayer King, oh, blasting charges just annihilate those Skinks. Nasty, nasty damage. The Dwarves certainly getting some good blasting charges here in the early game, but this is exactly what the Lizards want in the backfield. He wants to be using just cheap chaff units to fight Slayers, which is very, very cost effective. And you can see the Slayers are kind of abandoning the cannon at this point. Maybe the Longbeard should pull in and try and salvage it, but the Slayers, yeah, this is like where the Slayers want to be. There's a ton of monsters here. Slayer King's moving over. Dragonback Slayers have partially intercepted the Arawar Chameleon Skinks right here, or excuse me, the Arawar Red Crested Skinks, or no, just basic ones. And on the other side, the Ripperdactyls have jumped in. Longbeards intercepted these guys. The Slayers are trying to push back the Ripperdactyls, but Flying Taco does a pretty good job of pulling back, and many of the Dwarven assets here in the backfield are compromised right now. The Great Cannon is kind of being dove on. This other Great Cannon is being shut down, and even if the Red Crested Skinks do go down in the efforts, it's 100% worth it. So far, pretty damn good engagements, but a good response by the Dwarves as well. They're able to get Ungrim and the Slayers right on top of the Kroxigors. The Kroxigors get pretty badly beat up. You can see the Feral Stegodon's forced back, the other one's forced back, and Nakai is also forced back. Second Manscore summon has been conjured here by the mighty Skink Priest, and it looks like the Manscore is going to be going straight after Ungrim, trying to polish him off here. And the cannon in the backfield is offline here. Nakai pulling ahead of the Bounce of Power. The other cannon for the Slayer King is taken off, but the Norgrimling's Ironbreaker still bumping and grinding here against Usaris. And, you know, despite the Dwarves taking some heavy early losses via the cannons, which you can now see reflected in the Bounce of Power for the first time, it's still a pretty scary game for them. There's a fair amount of Slayers left on the board. Ungrim can do a lot of damage against these big monsters, and the Runesmith is still quite healthy too. So we'll see how that all unfolds, but so far Flying Taco has been putting on an absolute clinic of shutting down the ranged tools, using the Ripperdactyls and the Pterodons, and just aggressively pushing his infantry through the defensive geometry of the Dwarves has been a pretty effective tool, to say the least. And using the Skinks also to counter the Slayers, that's one of the reasons why in a lot of my matchups with Dwarves lately, I've kind of stopped defending my cannons, when I play against Lizards at least, with Slayers in the backfield, because they usually just get, you know, Skinks or Pterodons back there and really just get a ton of value. I've been using just kind of cheaper infantry, like miners with blasting charges, things like that. But now it looks like the circle beating is upon us. The Slayer King is surrounded here. Feral Manscore is going after him. We have the Stegodon, although he does have some infantry. Longbeards are immune to psychology. They will hold. And the Manscore summon will be dissipating here in a moment, which will give the Dwarves a little bit more kind of fighting power here in the mass. But Nakai's got his big beat stick, and some of the funnier attack animations in the game for sure. When he like runs in to attack something, oh yeah, look at that. That's so freaking cool. Crushing some of the Dwarves on the way in. Now going after the Slayer King. Here, the Feral Stegodon getting a little bit damaged, but Kroxigors were able to rally 7 models. And aside from that, on the rest of the battlefield, we have the cohort of Sotek. We have the 6 Slayers here. We do also have Norgrimling's Ironbreakers. That's going to be tough to kill. Plus Ironbreakers and, yeah, more Longbeards. That is a lot of stopping power. And yes, how could we forget the dreaded Aquatics trait? It's a pretty big factor here. There's some water to be fought in, and Dwarves are not aquatic people. They prefer to stay in their mountain holds, maybe mountainous people. What if Dwarves got, like, a buff to fight when they're on a hill or something? That'd be so funny. Anyways, Ungrim getting a good engagement now. He is getting on the Feral Stegodon, which is rampaging, so it has to stay and fight him. Certainly a bit of a boon for the Slayer King here with his Runesmith chopping into the hide of that Feral Stegodon. The other Feral Stegodon is able to finish off the last of the Slayers, and really, really high-value cohort of Sotek here. They're going to be super efficient at cutting through Longbeards despite the Rune of Negation. Looks like Ironbreakers are getting in there. I think the Dwarves, their last chance is probably to form a bit of a Helm's Deep, but for the most part, it looks like the Flying Taco will most likely be claiming victory unless we get some wild-ass comeback. Again, I haven't watched these replays yet, so I'm watching them with you guys for the first time. The Miasma of Despair, it is on. Ungrim, though, is not going to despair, that is for sure. He does not care about the leadership buffs. Granted, the slow is pertinent. Nakai going to Pound Town. Going to be pound stretching. The mighty Runesmith here, who is at 25 leadership, I think. Yeah, he's 13 leadership. Very beat up. Ripperdactyl's coming in as well. A ton of anti-infantry, and it looks like it's just going to be the mighty Slayer King going down. And there goes Ungrim. There goes my Ungrim. Getting clubbed as he goes. Yeah, he got clubbed pretty good. 43 HP. Oh, the epic finish. Let's go, Nakai. Oh, baby, is he going to get it? I think he might have hit him, or did he miss? Oh, yep, he got Ungrim. He got him, man. What an epic duel to finish out the game. And with that, Nakai, the spirit of the jungle, is going to be advancing to the next round here in this tournament. Flying Taco, showing no mercy here. Well played to both players, though. Seiss had some really good games. In the earlier rounds, he was able to defeat Anticity and several very strong opponents with his dwarves, but this time he was not able to pull it off here against the Taco. Certainly a lot to protect. Lizardmen typically do swarm there, so 3 Thunders plus 2 Cannons. I think you need to go more width, like cheaper stuff, like more Miners or basic Dwarf Warriors, just to have the width, because he didn't have the resources to defend everything. And he was kind of forced to commit Slayers to the fight, which was not what you want to be doing. But Nakai, yeah, 500, look at that, 590 value here on Nakai. What an absolute beast. Totally worth the 2,200 points he costs. Aside from that, let's see, Feral Stegodons did fine. Yeah, nothing was like super crazy MVP on either side. I guess Ungrim got about 1,600 value, so at least the Slayer King did pretty well for himself. And there you go. I think they need to nerf Nakai, yes. Add like 400 to his cost, just so nobody ever plays him ever again. That's the way of doing it. Yeah, absolutely. All right, guys, let's update it. So if you're looking at the brackets here, this is going to be the Flying Taco advancing. Round 3 and beyond means that you've made it to the final stream. So Nakai will be on the grand final stream whenever we decide to do that. So it's going to be similar to a faction war. It might take a couple weeks to get scheduled, probably take place after the Warhammer World Championship, but Nakai has won this day, and he will be advancing on, which is quite cool. So now for the next round, let's do it. Let's have some fun. All right, all right. Cool. Looks A-okay. Switching back to the battle here in a moment. Who do we want to see next? So many fun choices. So Nakai versus Ungrim. We've casted that one already. We could do... You guys want to see my game? Let's do it. I think it's about time for that. Grom versus Tank. We already cast it too. So next up, guys, we have myself on Teclis facing off against Xiphos on Malekith. Certainly a very fun one. Two very, very... diametrically opposed lords. I would say Malekith used to be very competitive, but obviously since the nerf to dragons, he's kind of fallen by the wayside. But Xiphos is an elf specialist, so I'm going to be fighting a bit of an uphill battle here. But I have been getting some good cheesy games with Teclis, and things have been going okay here. So this is going to be Teclis against Malekith, the Witch King. So let us know in chat, who you guys rooting for, Teclis or Malekith here in this glorious fight? It should be quite a bit of fun. I'm quite hyped to show you this one. So loading in to the recording here. Let's go ahead and do it. It's going to be Teclis versus Malekith. So for the army of Teclis, my forces here, Spearmen backed by triple Bolt Thrower to deal with Scourge Runners, a single White Lion here in the backfield, double Silver Helm, Peckless on a bird, and 2 Reaver Cav just to do some skirmishing and poke. Now for Xiphos, Scourge Runner Chariots, double Cannoned Assassin, Malekith on the Velociraptor, Cold One Knights, pretty standard stuff really. Just a bunch of Cold One Knights backed by the Scourge Runner Chariots and all that sort of fun stuff here. So right now, my skirmisher shooting out. I do have a couple basic archers as well who are going to be unleashing into whatever I can shoot, really. Peckless going to be flying out and looking for some prey. We're on the hunt. We're after you. Bolt throwers going downtown, shooting into the Scourge Runner Chariot. Certainly the target that you typically want to be focusing on. But Xiphos doing a very good job juking here. But I kind of saw a little bit of a slip up here. I was like, you know what? Malekith is here. Let's go in with Peckless. Let's net him and get some good damage. And you can see that Peckless given X going to give it to you in the words of DMX here. And we're getting a lot of damage here on Teclis, or excuse me, on Malekith, which feels quite good. So off to a very decent start in terms of gooning. Granted, Soul Stealer is on the table. I moved some Spearmen out here with my Silver Helms to kind of screen out his missile play. And now Xiphos starting to return the favor a little bit. So he does pull in the Cannoned Assassins and a little bit of a repeater crossbow fire here on the far side. So I immediately pull back with Teclis, having got Malekith down to about half health without taking much damage in return. Although I did, in the end, sacrifice some Spearmen. They kind of move out here, and Xiphos is doing a very good job of getting in there and karate chopping those guys. So, backfield pressure coming in here from the Dark Elves. A massive Dark Elf force moving in. I do have my Silver Helms hammering into the front against the Dread Spears, and over here the Silver Helms will be preparing to fight against Dark Riders and Cold One Knights with spear support, so I honestly should win that fight. However, gonna have to yield this side to an extent here. But Malekith definitely looking a little bit juicy. We're gonna be dropping an Enfeebling Foe. Going in there, Enfeebling Foe does trigger the Kindle Flame passive, and we're going to be trying to burn him down. But Malekith does respond with a really nice Soul Stealer, which actually it hits a couple targets. And my bird is actually getting cooked a little bit here. So Teclis taking some damage, granted, so too is Malekith. But the Soul Stealer is healing him up quite efficiently, but we also get a really good trade here with the White Lions. Getting onto the Cold One Knights, which are being stuck in sustained combat. Not a good trade. My AP Infantry should be able to deal with them. And in response to also just taking all this firepower here, my Reaver Cavalry do charge in and go after the Dark Riders. And I really just kind of have a bullseye here on Malekith. I'm like, okay, let's just go in, keep gooning him. I know Teclis is super tanky. We get a regrowth, which also triggers the Kindle Flame passive, which is hilarious. So we're getting a ton of damage, and Malekith's in the danger zone. It looks like Teclis getting some work in, but having to pull back here from the K8 Assassins. Although in retrospect, probably should have stayed the course and just finished him off here. But all 3 bolt throwers still online, which is pretty crazy at this point. Malekith very, very low. On the other side here, the Cold Moon Knights do get kind of broken up by my Silver Helm. Silver Helm's kind of hammering into the front, but Murderous Prowess is now active. And going in for the kill, Teclis going to be taking out Malekith. Web of Shadows active, and the Witch King is so low, he's broken. He has like 70 HP. Zyphos countercharging with the Cold Moon Knights to try and break Malekith out, and it looks like Malekith will be able to escape. Balance of power is pretty even at this point. Pretty damn even. I mean, the Dark Elf army is pretty healthy in many respects. They have a pretty good width, but Malekith getting karate chops like that is a huge boon. But now many of my bolt throwers are going to be taken offline, getting chased here, which is certainly something I was very worried about. But so far, those White Lions, man, those guys have been huge MVPs this time. Will Malekith come back? He's got 78 HP. Teclis now going to be using a net here on top of the Scourge Hunter Chariots to lock it down. He'll be attacking on his bird, and now the Silver Helms and other cavalry units will be piling in to attack the Scourge Runners and try and get some work done. So hopefully we can drag down the mobility, because from there, hopefully Teclis will be able to deal with most of the remaining threats. And the Scourge Runners do officially get karate chopped, which feels quite good. Unfortunately, though, a little bit of a mistake. I let Malekith come back, which means he can potentially get a Soul Stealer, maybe go back up to like 500 HP, and be a little bit of a, more impactful presence here on the battlefield. The High Elf Spearmen fighting valiantly against the Cold Moon Knights. Teclis standing shoulder to shoulder with them. Silver Helms on the retreat, trying to form ranks and get a little bit of a better engagement here. But unfortunately, that Scourge Hunter Chariot, or at least the other one, did come back and is going to punish these poor archers. Charging through. Very, very close fight here between Zyphos and I. And it can certainly go either direction. Balance of Power is actually a little bit Dark Elf favored, but we do get a bolt throw and it picks off the Witch King. The Witch King has fallen. Beautiful stuff indeed. Spearmen in the front. I still have a couple units of spears, which was certainly a very comforting point for me to know I would have something to fall back on in the later stages of the game. And Teclis is now getting back. He's got the Sword of Teclis, retreating from the Cold Moon Knights. The Cold Moon Knights hot on his tail. Might be able to kind of keep him pinned on the ground. This is a losing fight for me, though, if I stay. Simply because the K8 Assassins, they hit really hard, actually. And they do a poison. Their armor-piercing shots, or excuse me, not AP shots, but their shots doing some very good damage. Teclis only has 50 armor, so in order to save Teclis, I'm kind of forced to use a net of Amachok there, which really does suck pretty bad. So Dark Elves, they got 2 Dread Spears, they got a Scourge Hunter Chariot, double K8 Assassin, plus the Cold Moon Knights. For myself, I have the White Lions of Crace, I have some Spearmen, falling behind in the Balance of Power pretty substantially though, but I have a couple secret agent tricks here on the battlefield. I do have Terror, my opponent does not. I also have the Eagle Claw Bolt Thrower, which can kind of creep back online and really start generating some good damage here. And Teclis has the means of healing probably back up to about 1500 HP here. So yeah, K8 Assassins are really, really nasty. They're incredibly tough to kill. But my Spearmen in the grind versus the Cold Moon Knights. Hopefully they'll be able to get some work in. Cold Moon Knights down to about 1800 HP. Spearmen are pretty low leadership, and there are K8 Assassins nearby. My poor Spearmen getting run over, but the White Lions of Crace, proving to be huge MVPs this game, are going to be getting focused. But the Bolt Thrower also came back online, which is quite hilarious. So the Bolt Thrower shooting into the Cold Moon Knights, and you can see the Balance of Power actually creeping back towards the middle. So perhaps there's a bit of a glimmer of hope here for Teclis and the boys. And maybe they can get their way back into this game. Silver Helms in the distance, just trying to ride down Dread Spears wherever I can. And the White Lions really need to hold here. This is very important for me, and it looks like they are. Cold Moon Knights getting grinded down. 7 leadership here as the Spears move into support. And the Bolt Thrower fire, a little bit of friendly fire, but for the most part it does pick off Cold Moon Knights. And now the Cold Moon Knights are broken, so the mobility here for the Drycha is starting to get in a little bit of trouble. I do use my Reavers to contain the K8 Assassins. Obviously, I don't want them chasing down Teclis, and I know if they're wrapped up by like cheap cavalry units, I can basically just use Teclis, free willy here and get some good work in. And I think this is going to be a regrowth. Yeah, I can't quite remember. Yeah, that's a regrowth. We're going to be chasing down the Scourge Hunters as well as the Cold Moon Knights. I don't want those coming back. They have good mass. They're a bit of a problem. And here the Reaver Cavalry also getting some very good damage against the K8 Assassin. And with that, Balance of Power is creeping back towards the middle. Look at that. You can see it just moving right as I say that. K8 Assassins are at 8 leadership. If I could break a K8 Assassin here, that'd be huge. Also, the Bolt Thrower is back online, shooting spray fire mode into these units. And Teclis is still just chasing down these units. They're very close to the edge of the battlefield. Teclis able to get back up to 1700 HP. And now he's moving back in, guys, and the High Elves might be back in this game. There are a lot of Drycha Spears. However, Terror Routes are going to be something. This K8 Assassin is broken, so Teclis is going to be beelining for that Assassin, I am sure. And the Spearmen fighting the Dread Spears. It's the dreaded Spear matchup. And aside from that, I don't have too much. I mean, I got some Reaver Cavalry. I have Eagle Claw Bolt Thrower crew, which is trying to make its way back, which actually could be quite impactful. And that other K8 Assassin is actually breaking in a very efficient pattern. It's basically like running through its own troops, so it's not running into the open field, which means Teclis isn't going to be able to kind of strike and bring those bad boys down. So here he comes, rallying my forces using a little bit of ammo. Zyphos able to chase down my bolt thrower, but now Teclis goes in. And if I can kill this Canid Assassin, I'm going to be feeling real good. And we do. The Canid Assassin gets just absolutely eviscerated by Teclis there. Good gooning attempt. And the Bird King is going to be jumping back up in the sky now. While my Reaver Cavalry continue to kite back using the last of their ammunition. Teclis, yeah, going to go after the Cold Knights. A little bit of a dicey proposal. I'm hoping I can just get a terror out on them like instantly and get rid of them. Because if I'm like stuck fighting in the ground with Teclis and these guys are still in the battlefield, we're going to have a bad time. So we need to get the Cold Knights off, and we do. Teclis able to get them. Dread Spears do shatter due to the terror route from Teclis. And guys, the balance of power is back and forth. Teclis is on the hunt going after the Coldland Riders here. So chasing them down, we are able to break them. We have a couple spears, and also in the back, we have the bolt thrower. So the whole idea was to get Zyphos to chase down Teclis. And then from there, we get the bolt throwers back online, and things are going to be getting pretty wild. Here comes that boy. Thank you so much for the tenor. Appreciate that. Hey, Turin, you're the best dude around. Thanks for the regular streams. Best live content on the internet. Well, that's quite a compliment. I don't know if I'd agree with that, but I'll take it, man. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that juicy donation there. So Teclis is on his way back. Bolt throwers are back online, so now we're spray firing into the Dread Spears, but Zyphos, of course, juking very efficiently. And you can see here, my spear's going to be kind of moving into fight, and now I got to go for it. This is basically going to be RNG here. If Teclis lands most of his attacks against the Canid Assassin, I pretty much win. But if the Canid Assassin doesn't take the damage from my like 2 or 3 attacks, I'm going to be in a little bit of a tricky pickle. So we missed our first 2 attacks there, which is really unfortunate. If we had landed 2 attacks, the Canid Assassin might actually be breaking right now or be in very bad shape. But ultimately, we miss our attacks against the Canid Assassin, which is really, really unlucky. So pulling back here with Teclis, we do take a lot of damage in the process because we had to kind of charge into the crossbow fire. Teclis is at 2 leadership. Pulling back, bounce fire actually creeping back into the favor, especially as the bolt thrower friendly fires Teclis, which is pretty hilarious. But good to be pulling Teclis back here, trying to goon the Dread Spears. We pretty much have one more run at it. Obviously, these Dread Spears are broken to terror routes. We break these guys. And now Teclis is going to have one more opportunity to get in there and really just punish this Canid Assassin. But if he misses his attacks again like that, I'm probably straight up just going to lose the game. Obviously, I netted the character down hoping that would help, but in the end, I just missed all my attacks. So here comes Teclis. So the sword is indeed active, juking back and forth against the Canid Assassin. And I do have the bolt thrower firing in the back, so the bolt thrower is going to be shooting into the Dread Spears. Teclis circling about here in the sky, preparing to move in. Going for the kill, just trying to maximize the efficiency, getting as much firepower as I can out here, and hoping that the Dread Spears will break. Nice little juke there, but we still do get a lot of the Dread Spears with that focus fire. And here comes the bird. It's it. This is it. This is the final showdown. It's the final showdown. Frostlight, someone say something. Turin, that's what she said. That's very true, Frostlight. That's like an accurate depiction of my life. So I do use the Enfeebling Foe, and this time we actually get the attack. We actually get the attack there. So the Canid Assassin gets broken. Potentially, we miss the second attack. Quite unfortunate there, considering our melee attack's pretty good and his melee defense is 18. And we missed the third attack too. So we really needed those attacks because if the Canid Assassin breaks, we might be able to get terror routes on these other units. Look at this, the Canid Assassin is broken, but so is Teclis. And that is going to be all she wrote. Incredibly close game there. Army losses kicking in. And you can see what I'm talking about. It came down to missing 1 or 2 little attacks there. If we had like landed one of those attacks earlier, I think we would have won the game. It was such a close match. Very well played to Zyphos. Despite losing his Lord early, he was able to scrap back. Man, such a close match. So yeah, I was representing Teclis. I have been eliminated from the tournament, but I got to learn a lot about High Elves, which was really fun, and having a close game versus an Elf Master like Zyphos definitely felt quite good. So yeah, both throwers were fine. Teclis was a beast, 2,700. Some good gooning for sure. And man, that was a really, really close match. Great scrap indeed. I know. Yeah. I've been learning High Elves as kind of an off faction. I feel like I'm okay with them. I've won some decent tournament matches, and being able to compete with Zyphos and is fine. So I think we're getting there. Yeah, that was really, really close. Really close match. Poor Malekith got karate chopped. Canid Assassins were MVPs though. Check that out. 1,800, 2,400 on that. Beautiful, beautiful Canid Assassin play from Zyphos. And let's go ahead, guys. Load on over to the web browser and update the bracket. So Zyphos will be advancing on to the next round. I'm going to be rooting for Malekith now, for the one who has defeated my Teclis. And currently, the folks who are in the next round... Did I upgrade the wrong one? Oh, this is the wrong one. Yeah, I did not... No, that was for a different game. Okay. We haven't seen that one yet. Did I miss one earlier? Okay, so we have Ungrim versus Nakai. We have Tank here, and we also have Zyphos versus myself. I don't think we've cast in any other game. So yeah, right now it's basically just Xiphos and Nakai here in the later stages. So let's go back, prepare for the next game, and do it to it. All right. That was a good game, for sure. It was a really, really good game. Okay, so that match is done. You guys want some Imrik action? I think it's time for some Imrik, although I think we should save the Imrik game for later. The Imrik memes must rise from the ashes. It's going to be a tough one, facing Grom the Paunch. All right, so now we're going to do Sigvald. We will do Sigvald. So it's going to be Arocrastic, the Dark Lord of the Banner Rules, ever-chosen champion, facing off against Grombrindal, the Dwarf Man, Sons of the Mountain Clan. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, it's time. Loading in, it's going to be on River Amixon. This time I gave the players a much bigger map selection, so it's not going to be the Bone Zone every single time, because this is the elimination rounds here of the tournament, which is cool. And how you guys doing, by the way? Life treating you guys well? All right, here we are. Let's party. Local recording. It is going to be Arocrastic and the Forces of Chaos facing off against Grombrindal and the Dwarves. We have Sigvald, and Sigvald's actually the meta pick against Dwarves now, so I'm sure Arrow was quite happy about that. But again, Grombrindal, the White Dwarf, does lose to Sigvald head-to-head in combat, but he's not bad against him. He does have the Flash Bomb and can get some good armor-piercing damage. So it's going to be Chaos Warriors with great weapons, a Metal Sorcerer with Searing Doom and Plague of Rust to make those Manticores a little bit saucier at gooning. And the Forest, more great weapons, a shit ton of Marauder throwing axes. And the reason why Arrow has like 3 or 4 throwing axes plus 2 Manticores is because if you don't do that against Dwarves and they go with the Royal Dowie Air Force, it's a guaranteed instant match loss. So pretty much as a Chaos player, this is like mandatory to bring this in the Dwarf matchup. Sadly, you don't have any other choice. Otherwise, you're just going to get annihilated by the Dowie Air Force. But yep, that's pretty much that for Arrow's army. Now for the Dwarves, we got Dwarf Warriors, Ironbreakers, backed up by Ulthar's Raiders, double Iron Drake with the Trollhammer Torpedoes. Probably the only good target for them is the Manticores, to be honest. And double Bolt Thrower, which is very interesting. I don't really see the application of the Bolt Thrower in this matchup. I guess maybe against like a Hell Cannon, I guess I can shoot some of the Cavalry, but you don't really see Chaos Cavalry in this matchup too much here. I got the hiccups there for a moment. Anyways, Iron Drakes with Trollhammer Torpedoes, turning about face to eye the Manticores who are lurking in the trees right now. Sigvald, his inexorable advance is upon us. The Dark Prince waddles forward to go after Grombrindal. Yeah, Sartorial did make it to the elimination rounds. He got past the group stages. Sartorial being played by Zero, who's an amazing player. Zero actually had a 3-0 victory against Talaxon Soothsayer in the Warhammer World Championship recently. So he's going to be playing Warp Chicken against Karl Franz. I don't know if we're going to do that one today. It might be in the second part 2 of the elimination rounds, but we'll see. We'll see. So Manticore's going in pretty aggressive. There's no Slayers nearby, so this is totally fine. Granted, the problem is that Flash Bomb might come in, and it looks like it probably will. And then from there could be some pretty nasty crossfire. Sigvald's also making his way in. Chaos Warriors with great weapons will defeat those Longbeards quite decisively. And the Manticore seem to be doing okay. I'm surprised we haven't seen a Flash Bomb. There it is. The Flash Bomb is active, so this is a good opportunity for the Dwarves to get a really nice gooning attempt and at least get one Manticore. Oh man, look at that Manticore. It got nuked by the Iron Drakes. And yeah, this Manticore is paying the troll toll. Holy shit, that thing got busted up. Has 9 speed right now. I don't know how it's moving so quick. It looks like it was able to waddle out of there. But yeah, that was a really brutal bombardment right there. In the meantime, Arocrastic with some really good backline pressure. He is able to jump on top of the Iron Drake Trollhammers with the Marauder Horsemen. Slayers are coming back to defend this position, but Arrow pulls back almost instantly. So certainly some very good control, but that was a really nice nuke on the Manticore, which is now rampaging on its way back in. Now, one thing that is a little bit problematic for the Dwarves is the prevalence of Chaos Warrior Great Weapons, and they're winning all their matchups. Oh, he even has some Chosen with Great Weapons. Okay, the Chosen dominate those Dwarf Warriors, take almost no damage in return, and now going to be continuing to move into the battle lines. Should make quick work of these Dwarf Warriors, so as the Dwarves start to lose the frontline engagements, they're going to be forced to pull back pull their Slayers and other backline reserves, which is then going to lead to their other pieces being in open field combat, right? So we got Sigvald versus Grombrindal. The duel is upon us. Sigvald seems to be taking some damage, but it depends. If Sigvald gets all of his attacks on Grombi, he should be fine. But it looks like the Dwarf Warriors here, the Ironbreakers, may be helping, and Sigvald is forced back. But again, Sigvald can heal, Grombrindal can't, so there is that X factor to take into account. Chaos still pushing through the front line. Ironbreakers to the Dwarves holding quite well, but the Chaos Warrior Great Weapons winning all of their engagements. And now we have Chaos Warriors as well as Chosen and basic Marauders swarming all over the backfield. And you can see what I'm saying, right? Slayers are being forced to move up and fight, and that then opens up the backline pressure with Arocrastic moving in with the Marauder Horsemen, running through the Ulthar's Raiders as well as the Bolt Thrower. And yeah, Slayers don't want to be fighting armored infantry. They don't want to be fighting chaff. They want to be fighting monsters and cavalry and things like that. And in this case, they are not going to be having a good time as they take some very heavy attrition damage. Balance power is pretty even at this point. Grombrindal was able to get the better of Sigvald in that trade with the support of the Ironbreakers, but Chaos is certainly all over them right now. And what's going on over here? We have some random Chaos Marauders on the far side. Maybe going to fight some Longbeards? We will see. Throwing Axes moving back in once again on top of the Trollhammer torpedoes. It looks like all of the Dwarven missiles are more or less offline, and the problem for them is it's not like they're going to eventually free up this position. The Chosen with great weapons are going to just be dunking on these Dwarf Warriors and really just cutting through them like butter, and you can see that starting to show here as the Dwarf Warriors are shaken, taking massive casualties. And yeah, it feels like the Chosen are so far the MVPs doing some huge work. Sigvald has also gotten into the back line, and Sigvald is now just going balls deep here on these Iron Drakes, taking out a couple models at once, and those Iron Drakes are now broken. Marauder Horsemen will 100% make sure they don't come back. Great weapons in the front, still winning their fights. The only thing for the Dwarves that are performing pretty well are the Norgoblings Ironbreakers, but they're not going to be enough to deal with Sigvald. And the balance of power going into the favor of the ever-chosen champion, Aerocrastic here, as he gets a nice Searing Doom and actually does some really big damage against those Ironbreakers. Took out like 5 or 6 models and a fair amount of HP. So we will see. Where's Imrik? Imrik's game is coming up later in the stream, don't you worry. Chaos Feral Manscore, 2v1 fight here versus the Longbeards, who are, of course, immune to psychology, so you got to break them the old-fashioned way. But it looks like the Manscore should be able to win that. It's kind of looking like point of no return here for the Dwarves. They've lost too much. The Chosen with great weapons are still alive. There's tons of armor-piercing infantry, and, you know, Aerocrastic is doing an exceptional job of chasing down all the remnants of the Dwarf army to make sure that there's not a glimmer of hope for them. A very, very chaos way to play the game, right? Although, look at this, the Metal Sorcerer does get broken up by Gromby, but he is fighting some cheap AP infantry, which should be able to grind him to stone, and the Chosen with great weapons just annihilating the Dragonback Slayers with Sigvald. Could probably do a little bit of fast forwarding at this point because it's a lot of grinding. The Dwarves do get their last kind of bastion of troops here, Plague of Rust going down in Searing Doom. Oh, look at the Searing Doom damage, and that is going to be GG. Sigvald carrying the game with the dreaded Chosen. Man, that one Chosen unit, let's see what kind of value it got. Only 900, but it like defeated like 3 Dwarven infantry units, took no damage, and was like full health in the late game. Plus, those Chosen could have soloed the Ironbreakers easy. Yeah. Crazy stuff. How's it going, Poison Ducky? We might be doing your game today. I'm not sure. I'm doing about 3/4 of the games. And then there's going to be another stream for the rest of them, but yeah, good build by Arrow. He respects the Dowie Air Force, brings plenty of armor piercing. Sigvald, really good metal play too. It was just solid. It was solid game there. The Chosen didn't lose a single model. Those guys deserve to be like ascended to champions or demonhood or something. Whatever they're looking to accomplish in the Chaos world, that's for sure what they should get. So, loading back over to ye old web browser. Let's go ahead and do this. Aerocrastic will be advancing on with Sigvald, and then we are going to have Sigvald facing off against the Prussian Prince in Bretonia. So that is going to be a later round game we have going here. So again, anyone who makes it here to round 3, is going to be on the grand final stream, which is going to be very similar to like a faction war, which will be super fun. So many more games to be had today, guys. Let's go ahead and load back. Aerocrastic advancing onward. Gromby is the only hope for the Dwarves is Belegar, actually. Belegar is still here, so it's going to be Umais against Uncle Gant of XMT. But that is the last hope for the proud Dowie. Let's go ahead and do this, like that game. So next up, we are going to have Drycha facing off against Thrott the Unclean. So 2 DLC characters, well, one's an FLC technically. Is there going to be a faction war in May? Hell yes, dude. Hell yes. I'll be having faction wars every month. The only reason we missed a month is because I was in the middle of moving. So yeah, but we're going to have it every month. So those Chosen were beast mode, man. They were beast mode indeed. So next match is going to be Drycha facing off against Thrott the Unclean here in this glorious tournament. No, Thorgrim did get eliminated in the group stages. He didn't make it. Wait, no, he didn't. That's not true. No, Thorgrim is still here, actually. Zach B. Sane is playing Thorgrim. I'm so sorry, guys. Yeah, Thorgrim is still here. Yeah, he is. Hey, and Frostlight, thanks again for the donation. Appreciate that one. All right. Let's do this. Go into the match here, guys. So this is going to be the Wood Elves facing off against Thrott the Unclean. So here we go. So the Wood Elves are being controlled by Aristodemus, and Ludwig is controlling the forces of the Skaven. So we do have triple Deepwood Scout with the Swift Shiver Shard, double Waystalker to try and snipe artillery, mortar pieces, like all that kind of stuff, and can honestly do some really good character sniping too. Glade Riders, Hawkeyes of Drakir in the back. We have some Blade Singers. What the hell is this build? This shit is wild. And so all of this is hidden right now. All of this is hidden. I think he's going to try and force the Skaven out and just like ambush them. We have Drycha screaming alone in the trees here, just kind of being an angry tree lady, and some skirmishers on the edge of the map. That's pretty much it. So for the forces of Ludwig, I really like the Gutter Runner Vanguard here. It's going to give him some nice poke against the Waystalkers. And yeah, look at this. Very rough start here for the Wood Elves. Instantly, the Waystalkers are being taken apart by the Gutter Runners, and the rest of the army is pretty static for sure, as most Skaven armies are. Poison Wind Mortars, Natty Bubo Sharpshooters, Plague Priest, a Warlock Engineer with Howling Warp Gale in case of Hawk Riders. We got Thrott the Unclean, and some Wolf Rats. So again, this was played pretty recently, so this is a post-Skaven nerf. So Thrott the Unclean has gotten a cost increase, I think, or some sort of a nerf, and then also the Skaven Slaves do cost a little bit more. So let us know in chat, who are you rooting for? Is it going to be the Skaven or the Wood Elves? Who do you want to advance in this Legendary Lord tournament? I wonder who's going to win it. I wonder, who do you guys think is going to win the entire tournament? Yeah, it's crazy. There's so many good players. It's like almost impossible to choose here. The Waystalker getting sniped pretty good. That's a really, really nice start for the Skaven for sure. The Gutter Runner is proving to be very, very valuable here as they move up, and Swift Shiver Shards can actually punish them pretty bad though. They do magic damage, and Gutter Runners have physical resist. So, you know, good volleys. Yeah, you can see them teeing off there, doing some good work against the Gutter Runner. So the Hawkeyes of Drycha now shooting in as well. The ROR Waywatchers here for Aristodemos, dropping some shots. They don't have to play sub-factions. No, he could have played regular Skaven, but it doesn't matter because his opponent already knows who his Lord is. Like, that's the one thing about this tournament. Your Lord is locked in place. You can change everything else in, like, every single game. So, Mitosis predicting Grom the Paunch will win the event. Well, maybe so. We'll find out. Gutter Runners still getting blasted pretty good. So, Aristodemos finally starting to stabilize here as he's getting some good juking with the Waystalkers, moving back and forth, and also dodging a fair amount of the shots coming in from the Gutter Runner Rats. So the rest of the Skaven army is advancing up, trying to get those mortars in range. The Poison Wind Mortars would love nothing more than to drop a hot payload here onto the Deepwood Scouts and or the position here in the forest. But again, these Dryads and Blade Singers and other units here on the dreaded Bone Zone are all hidden. Par Anderson, keep up the good work and keep up the great content. Hey, I will, man. Thank you so much for the donation. We're going to keep it up. We actually have a lot of streams this weekend. So today we have this stream, obviously, and then tomorrow we're streaming the quarterfinals for the Warhammer World Championship, which is going to be super fun. So it's going to be 4 best of 5s tomorrow. So that'll be starting tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, I think. Yeah, a little bit of an earlier stream by my standards, but it's going to be super fun. So the mortars are finally starting to shoot in, going into the Deepwood Scouts, and the Jezzails unleashing on the Waystalkers here. Those Waystalkers broken once again, so pretty even game. I would say nobody's in a super big state of advantage, but now it looks like Aristodemos and the Hardwood are going to be moving out of the bushes. So the Dryads have advanced out. The one thing that he's keeping hidden are the Blade Singers. I think he's going to just really wait for the fighting to get heavy before he sends them out. Or he'll bring Drycha, drop some summons on top of the Poison Wind Mortar here, and then he'll bring out his elite units, and we'll see how that goes. Drycha being forced down by the Natty Bubos, getting some shots, but Aristodemos juking. It's so funny how if you zoom out, look, if you look at like Drycha's legs, it looks like there's like a rubber band between her legs. You know, like kind of like one of those exercise bands that people do to like, you know, make their leg workouts a little bit harder. Yeah. Mortars going in, tickling the pickle here of these Dryads, and now the Dryad battle line will be here to eviscerate the Skaven slaves in the front. Should do pretty well, but there are ogres in reserve, and also there are some summons coming in from the Skaven, so I would imagine most Skaven, you know, players would drop a summon here to try and halt the advance of these units and mitigate the damage their actual units takes. But now the Skaven are pouring forward with all their resources. So Thrott the Unclean, the Rat Ogres getting ready to go fisticuffs. Definitely should pile in and help out against those Dryads. And it looks like some Wolf Rats are being sent right up the pipe. However, I don't know how effective they're going to be considering the Wild Riders. You know, the Wood Elves have pretty much unleashed their full fury here. The Blade Singers have come out. They've switched to the Whirling Death, which gives them better non-armor piercing damage, which is going to be a good choice here. And it looks like the Plague Priest is actually getting sniped. So the Hawkeyes of Drycha and the Deepwood Scouts, plus the 2 Waystalkers here in the back, are just gooning the Plague Priest. Man, that's a rough loss in the early game. If that Plague Priest goes down here for the Skaven, that's going to be a disaster for sure. In the backfield, Glade Riders do get on top of the Poison Wind Mortars, as well as the Natty Bubo Sharpshooters, and we do get a Dryad summon of the Malevolent Dryads here, on top of what appears to be Rat Ogres, but they don't seem to get the best summon, and for the most part, they're going to be chasing this Skaven Blob. But the backfield being shut down here is a huge, huge boon, and Drycha is just going to be screaming and definitely dropping some branch bows here onto the Warlock Engineer. Though she doesn't have crazy good armor piercing, although the Warlock Engineer... Yeah, it's not the Warlock Engineers who have good armor, that's right. Look at that, Drycha's like summoning branches from the depths. Yep, getting some good damage. Warlock Engineer is at the point of breaking. Not sure why Drycha wouldn't stay there and just finish off the Warlock Engineer, but I guess she's got bigger rats to fry. Got to be jumping in after the Ogres and the Council Guard. The Wood Elf missile line very much in good shape. Thrott the Unclean dropping a nice little Rat Ogre summon here to try and push back the archers, but yeah, Thrott's getting gooned by the Swift Shiver Shards and also the double Waystalkers who managed to survive this entire time. Yeah, Fey Enchantress is still in the tournament. Yeah, Prussian Prince is playing Fey Enchantress. And we'll be playing against Aerocrastic in this tournament here. So, Drycha battling Thrott the Unclean. Drycha probably will win this fight. Remolded and Creature Killer is active, but Drycha is not large, so Creature Killer isn't going to be super impactful. Dryad's back here, causing a fair amount of disruption, but the Bladesingers are just kind of waiting in the shadows. I don't know if this is intentional, but the Bladesingers are being kind of sat back here, and if they switch to their armor-piercing mode, holy shit, they will annihilate the Council Guard, like absolutely destroy them. It looks like Thrott the Unclean is broken with Enfeebling Foe, and Drycha able to branch slap him a couple times. And most of the Skaven army is in mass exodus. Like, Deepwood Scouts back here are all functional. The Hawkeyes of Jakira, I think, might have gotten taken out. No, they're actually right here. So yeah, there's pretty much no hope for the Skaven at this point. Bladesingers have switched back to their armor-piercing mode, and you're going to see these Council Guard are going to be getting cut like butter. Like, they are just done for right now. Immediately just losing massive models on impact, as Drycha also buffs the melee attack to the Bladesingers, if I'm not mistaken, although maybe she's not damaged enough for that. Malekith's going down, Council Guard continuing to be eviscerated by those angry, bare-naked ladies. Hawkeyes of Jakira and the Waystalkers both still have plenty of ammunition as well, so if Thrott the Unclean tries to poke his ugly rat head back in this battle, he's going to be taking a bit of firepower, to say the least. It looks like he's stabilized in terms of leadership. At a mighty 12 or 6, but there it goes. Negative 14, Hawkeyes of Jakira do have a discouraging effect, so when they shoot the rats, it actually breaks their leadership. And that should be it for the rats. So it looks like Drycha will be eliminating Thrott the Unclean here in the Legendary Lords Tournament. So very well played to Arista Amos and Ludwig. It was a fun game for sure. But in the end, the Waystalkers and Deepwood Scouts and the Bladesinger tech was really cool. I love how conservative he was with them. And then eventually when it was their time to come in and just really go fisticuffs, he brought them out. And what is their value right now? Only like 500, but all of that's been against Council Guard. And they're still fairly healthy too, which is very, very strong. Yeah, that's it. GG, well played. That is going to be victory for Drycha, the Screaming Maiden. And there you have it. The rat has paid the troll toll. Oh, yeah, stretching it all out. Oh, man. Nice build. It's pretty cool. Hawkeyes of Jakira, an interesting choice against Skaven. I mean, I guess the leadership discouraging effect is something that's really kind of decent there. Deepwood Scouts, Swiftshiver Shards are fine. You either see them or basic Deepwood Scouts are both good. The Waystalkers got a lot of damage. Drycha was a beast. You know, same old stuff. And for the Skaven build, yeah, I mean, it didn't feel bad. I actually really like the Gutter Runners. I thought that was a really cool tech. I'm trying to think what you would do differently. You need the Ogres. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe just cut the Council Guard, but I guess you need Council Guard against like heavy rushes. It gives you an unbreakable presence. I'd have to think about that. My build for Skaven vs. Wood Elves is a bit different, but even still, that was quite a bit of fun to watch and cast. So, Drycha advances. Let's go ahead and go to the browser, update the bracket. Where is Drycha? So Drycha will be in the later stages. There it is. So far, we actually have two Elvish factions who've made it to the grand finals here. Round 3 and beyond is the grand finals for this particular tournament. And next up, we have a lot of fun games to choose from. Let's go ahead here, load back in, and get another match going. Thanks again for joining today, guys. How many more games on today's stream? I don't know, like 5, 6, 7? Something like that. 5, 6, or 7. So we got some choices for our next match. That is gone. So we could do Larry versus Morathi. That actually sounds like a really fun matchup. So Alariel the Radiant versus Morathi. So the ultimate duel. Gonna have a bit of a drink here of water. Gotta hydro homie this. And then we'll start the next match here in just a minute, guys. Just gonna rest my old voice for a moment. Yeah, so tomorrow we're gonna be doing the Warhammer World Championship. How's the arm doing? Yeah, so it feels totally fine. I got the vaccine, yeah, was it yesterday? No, 2 days ago, and the arm feels totally fine. It was a little bit sore the night up, but really not that bad. The Wookiee drawing, yeah, it's pretty good. Lady Turn did that. An Imrik versus Nakai final? Holy shit. You guys want the Imrik game? Okay, I think we want the Imrik game versus the Greenskins. All right, so the next match is going to be ODM Marquis facing off against Professor Pone, the Knights of Kalador. Certainly going to be a very hard matchup. All right, Attila, I got you. He says it's late in Europe, can't stay long. Give me Imrik. I got you covered. All right, no problem. No problem at all. So Grom the Paunch, probably one of the strongest lords in the entire game. Against Imrik, one of the more haggard lords, but we'll see how this goes. We will see how this goes indeed. So loading in here, we got this going. All right. Here we go, baby. It's going to be Imrik The Lord of Dragons not riding a dragon, facing off against Grom the Paunch. Everyone's saying rest in peace, Imrik in chat. It's pretty funny. So for the forces here of Professor Pone, we have white lions. It's going to be 4 white lions with sword masters here in the middle. Really trying to win the infantry fight with double archer and some spearmen. For cavalry, we do have the Lord of Dragons, Imrik, with his lance couched on his mighty horse. Double silver helm. Silver helms are pretty good against greenskins in my experience. They typically trade well. A mage of life to heal up Imrik, and a couple of reaver archers on the far side of the battlefield. Now for Grom the Paunch, it's looking quite scary. He's got Grom, he's got triple stone troll, no joke. Aside from that, it's going to be orc boys. We have more orc boys, a bunch of spider riders here on the far side, and that appears to be it with, it's the good stuff, right? It's got greenskin missile cavalry, but they're not spider riders, actually. It looks like wolf riders mostly, which, isn't quite as good. Although, no, never mind. We got spider riders on the other side, too, it looks like. But yeah, mostly wolf riders. And a vindictive glare caster to snipe the greenskin, or snipe the high elf caster, and that's it. Solid stuff indeed. Let us do it. How will this battle unfold? The Knights of Kalador march forth, perhaps to their doom here against the dreaded greenskins. The Swordmasters of Hoeth looking valiantly across the battlefield at those stone trolls, quite excited to use their swords against giant stone trolls. I'm sure that's going to be super fun for them. Silver Helm's taking a little bit of Daka from the Wolf Riders, and they are not the shielded variant, so it's actually going to be hurting them. And Imrik looks like he wants to take a fight here. He's like eyeing down these Orc boys, looking like he wants to go fisticuffs. But the Silver Helms brace before the charge, moving in the white lines, and then Professor Pone does go for the charge. So Silver Helm's moving in, Imrik is moving in, everything's going. I would imagine the Vuvuzela will be sounded, but he does use the Lord of Dragons to actually debuff the Orc boys. Pretty nice right there, certainly going to make them go down quite a bit faster. And the Dragon Horn has been sounded, the entire High Elf army getting its own mini Wah. So the white lions will suddenly be trading much more effectively. And the big blob fight here, you can see that the Orc boys do get broken up, but on that same note, the Silver Helms also get punished pretty bad. But look at this flesh to stone being used here by Professor Pone. Shit's getting wild. And now staying in sustained combat here. The white lions certainly need to move up and start bumping and grinding. But so far, just loose skirmishing across the battlefield. Reaver archers going to be intercepting the Goblin Spider Riders. Should be able to do okay. And the 2 white line units here, it looks like got kind of crumped by some fanatics. But for the most part, one of them is at least holding, while the Sword Masters are in a bit of a bad battle for sure. So a lot of scary engagements, but at least the initial engagement did go okay. Some of the Stone Trolls do get focused down by archers here. Spearmen and white lions affected by the Dragon Horn were able to really grind down some of the Stone Trolls. So yeah, one Stone Troll is broken off here. Imrik, the Lord of Dragons, does pull back at this point. Balance of power is pretty even, but now it's time for the revenge of the Greenskins. Yeah, nasty, nasty stuff. And the entire Greenskin army is going to be sauced to the gills. Swordmasters of Hoeth actually doing a surprisingly good job. I thought they would have broken by now. But they do have some Overwatch fire coming in from the archers in the back, which are poking into the Stone Trolls. And, I guess they're cutting through some of those units and doing their thing. Imrik currently running from the Goblin Big Boss. Goblin Big Boss on the hunch. Grom the Paunch in the deep of the infantry here. Really getting a ton of work. But the Stone Trolls are isolated against spears. And, even though they're durable against spears, they don't want to be doing that. There's also some white lions in here who have good general armor-piercing value. So that can be a little bit scary. And now, do we have the Lord duel? Yes, we have Grom the Paunch versus Imrik. The duel is upon us. Grom the Paunch really taking the receiving end of this duel. The Lord of Dragons giving it to the big Chungus Goblin. Let's take a look. 1800 HP. The Mage of Life plus Imrik getting a ton of damage. Oh my god, is Grom going to get taken out by Imrik? The Lord of Dragons is active. His stats are 0 and 11 right now, and it looks like Grom the Paunch is officially broken. The Lord of Dragons just giving him the dirty in the duel. And will he go down? 374 HP. Very, very low. Is Imrik on his tail? No, Imrik does get caught up, and Grom the Paunch is at negative 62, but Grom the Paunch is shattered. What a crazy, crazy play there from Imrik. And now the Lord of Dragons is going to be sitting in combat here with the Goblin Big Boss. Might be able to actually defeat him too. Now, the Stone Trolls did come to the aid of that fight, but they were a little bit late to the party. So Imrik can certainly fight here and do his thing. Swordmaster is still fighting in the front. We got White Lions and Spearmen fighting all over the battlefield. The White Lions actually performing surprisingly well against the Stone Trolls. And you can see many of the Stone Trolls are going down against the DPS of the White Lions. White Lions are often used in matchups in which you're worried about big armor, like cavalry and things like that. And here you can see they're doing a number on these Stone Trolls, which are actually wavering. And the Lord of Dragons is still going strong, fighting the Goblin Big Boss as well as some of his Orc boys nearby. As far as value accrued, the Dragon Horn sounds once more in the valley. Imrik's value is up to 1200, melee attack at 92, and he skewers the Goblin Big Boss, forcing him back. However, the Mage of Life is in a little bit of trouble. Vindictive Glare going down from the little Goblin. And the Mage trying to get away, might actually get broken here, which is certainly pretty unfortunate. But could this be a dreaded High Elf upset? We will see. Swordmasters still doing their thing. Cut through those Orc boys. The White Lions of Kreso have also been huge MVPs this game, actually defeating many of the Stone Trolls in combat. Good work here by Professor Pone as well, getting the Silver Helms to chase down the Stone Trolls in the distance. And Imrik is now looping back and around, going after the AP Gloonies. We will see how this goes. So pushing in, but I would imagine Imrik is going to have a sight set on many of the greenskin characters. There's not too many choice targets for him anymore. I think the Stone Trolls are mostly gone. And that is a lot of high elf heavy metal. There's a ton of White Lions alive. We have 59 here, 33, 45 right there. Was that what that was? Yeah, 45. And Imrik's here. We have Swordmaster still functional. That is a lot of units that have missile resist and honestly will dominate the greenskins in the infantry fight. Yeah, no joke there. The Goblin Big Boss moving, hunting down the mage, and it looks like the mage is taken out in a pretty brutal fashion from that Goblin Big Boss. Man, she just got absolutely destroyed. But I don't think the little Goblin Big Boss is going to be able to stand up to the Lord of Dragons, that is for sure. So a little bit of skirmishing here. Obviously the greenskins going to be kiting, using the remnants of their ammunition. Professor Pone with a slight mistake overextending here, but I don't think it matters too much. Imrik does charge in, goes after the Goblin Big Boss, and should be able to defeat this guy pretty easily. Well, he does miss that attack. 2,400 here for Imrik. Imrik does have anti-large. Here comes the attack. Missing again. Come on, Imrik. Get your shit together. Looks like Imrik used all of his good luck on taking out Grom earlier. He really connected with Grom. My goodness. The Goblin Big Boss's melee defense holding, but army losses kicking in, and the High Elves will be claiming victory against Grom the Paunch in the biggest upset of the tournament. Imrik taking out Grom. GG. Well played. Holy shit. Vengeance for Vlad. Vlad has been avenged by your boy Imrik. So we had a couple donations during that game. Holy shit, thank you guys. From Tyler Wilson, he says, rooting for Imrik while I'm playing a Fey Enchantress campaign. I hope he brings the win home. Well, there you go. He did, man. That one's for you, Tyler. Thank you. And then we get a $99 donation from Chris Zimmerman. Love your content. Purge the Green Tide. The Green Tide has been purged by Imrik. Holy shit. That was some magic, man. I can't believe it either. That was a big shock. That was a big shock indeed. Let's go ahead and look at some of the value. Thank you so much, Chris Zimmerman and Tyler Wilson. Really appreciate it, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed that one. If you guys enjoyed that, do like the stream. Plenty more of that to come. Imrik will be making it to the grand final stream. Not the craziest value, but the fact that he dominated Grom was pretty big. And the White Lions all paid for themselves. Look at that, almost, except these two, I guess. Yeah, 930, 800. Swordmaster's got 1,200 value on the Swordmasters. Wow, I really did not expect that. Yeah, what a wild game. GG, well played. Let's go ahead and minimize here and update the brackets. So we will go to the old web browser. And let's do it. Where, oh, where is Imrik? So report scores. Imrik will be advancing on to face the winner of the Dwarves and the Vampire Counts. Clearly your donations influenced the win. I think so. I think Imrik felt the power of the donation and he rose up and was able to do it. What a game. What a game. Well played. The Pone Dog advances on. Jay Phoenix. Well, Jay Phoenix is here in chat. So I think it's about time we cast that game. Let's do it. So Grom the Paunch upset by Imrik. The Lord of Dragons. Calidor man himself. All right, Jay Phoenix. Let's cast your game since you're here. So it's going to be Jay Phoenix of RTK playing Alariel the Everqueen, facing off against Ice Power Total War and Morathi. Two powerhouse lords, which honestly probably would be the main picks in this matchup anyways, which is pretty hilarious. Yep, Jay Phoenix, we're doing your game right now. So the Greenskins, who do they have left? They have Grimgor left in the tournament, and then they also have Azag as well, but no more Grom the Paunch. Yeah. No more Grom the Paunch. So this is going to be on the Bone Zone. Of course, we all love the Bone Zone here. What's that, guys? Attila, thank you so much. This is for the Imrik victory. Hey, man, I know it was late for you. Get some rest. Thanks again for your donation, brother. And Chris and Tyler, can't thank you guys enough. Very, very generous stuff. All right, loading back in. This is going to be a good one. Jay Phoenix here, the champion of Clan RTK, facing off against the XMT man himself. I believe he's XMT or XMD, some sort of a meme of some sort. Ice Power Total War. Ice Power, I'm sure, very excited that he does not have to face off against Grom the Paunch. Should be fun. Now, for the forces here of Jay Phoenix, we have a front line of Spearmen with a little bit of Ranger mix, and I like that. A little bit of... It's like you got the steak here, right? The steak is the Spearmen, then a little bit of seasoning on top via the Spearmen, or the Rangers. I think that's quite cool. Lother and Seaguard, pretty solid. You know, they're durable against, Dark Riders and Cold One Knights and things like that, and yeah, they can trade well. We got Archers in the back. Larry up in the sky with Tempest and an Eagle. I would imagine looking to hunt down Big Mama Morathi in the sky. Granted, Morathi was brought on foot, and we have Silver Helms and Silver Helms on each side. And Reavers. Yeah, Reavers and Silver Helms, both of which do pretty well against Dark Elves. So for the Dark Elf army here of Ice Power Total War, we do have Scourge Runner Chariots, so 1, 2, and 3. Scourge Runners are pretty good. They're efficient against most of the High Elf roster here. Especially on the Bone Zone, it's a pretty short range map, so they can get in there and start skirmishing right away. Now for the forces here of the Druchii, it's going to be Dread Spears with more Dread Spears and Bleak Swords. We got Morathi on foot, double Canid Assassin. You guys saw how good that could be in the game that I played with Teclis. And it looks like it is going to be some Coldlow Knights with more Coldlow Knights and Dark Riders. So Scourge Runners juking the shots as best they can, but still taking a fair amount of damage here from the High Elf missile line. Over in the front, we do get the Scourge Runner Chariots moving into the Spearmen, trying to get a little bit of a freebie, but it does look like those Spearmen were indeed braced, so they're not going to be taking that damage too heavily. And now the Wand of Crydon coming down from Morathi. It is her bound item, so we'll see what kind of damage it does. It rips open a portal from the Void, the Warp, and nice split there. Wow, I don't even know how Jay Phoenix really did that, but kind of split up the Lothern Seaguard and really kind of minimized the effectiveness of that damage. And so far, the High Elf Archer line has been doing quite well. The Scourge Runner Chariots here are heavily damaged. Here we have the Bleak Swords and Dread Spears who are about to be sandwiched by Reavers and maybe break them. But the Dark Elves looking to be going for an overload here. So Coldlow Knights and Coldlow Knights positioning with Scourge Runners. It looks like the Dark Elves going to be pushing in pretty aggressively here, but probably honestly going to be waiting for Morathi to come in. Oh, look at this. The Pigeon Queen moving in. The Great Eagle Goon Squad going after the Canid Assassin. A very, very strong pick there by Jay Phoenix. Beautiful. That Canid Assassin getting taken down. The Dark Elves don't have any way of healing, right? So that's a pretty substantial play. Now, Morathi responding with a Soul Stealer, which is also going to be quite strong. It's going to hit the Eagle plus Larry, which I think might actually bait out a Star of Avalorn here. I don't know if that would be a bad idea per se, but looks like the Eagle's just going to try and withdraw and maybe save the Star of Avalorn for later. Now, on this side, the Dark Elf Overload does come into full effect. The Coldlow Knights plus the Chariots moving in. Lothern Seaguard, though, that's what's cool about them, is they can kind of help defend against these situations with their spears. So Silverhelms plus Lothern Seaguard fighting in combat here, and it looks like there is going to be an Earthblood or something going down here. I'm not quite sure. Let's go ahead and keep tabs. Oh, wow, look at that. Wait, a Final Transmutation? Where the hell did that go? Oh, there's a Metal Caster. I didn't see that. Okay, I thought Larry was just here with magic. Okay, so the Final Transmutation from the High Elves comes down and absolutely dunks on the Coldlow Knights and the Chariots. And in a way, actually secures that flank. Because that was the big Dark Elf play, right? Move through that flank, collapse the Archer line. But now, there's going to be a massive core of Archers that are quite happy. Holy shit, I was not expecting that. I did not even see that mage on the ground. So the Dark Elves get punished super bad on that flank. And that pulls the balance of power ahead for the High Elves super heavily. As the Star of Avalorn goes down, healing up the Reavers and the Eagle as well as Larry. But the Morathi Death Star still is something to deal with. I think one Canid Assassin is completely shattered, and the other one is very low, but it looks like the High Elves are in a very, very commanding position here as the Dread Spears move forward. Lothern Seaguard and Archers are being forced back a little bit. That Scourge Runner Chariot still causing some problems in the backfield, but looks like Jay Phoenix reacts very quickly, pulling in the Reavers, going to be intercepting the Scourge Runners, and the two Eagles will be moving in to attack here as a Wild Hog rides outside very angrily. Negative 22 leadership. Scourge Runners are taken down. A lot of High Elf DAC is still online here. Ice Power Total War. Looks like you had some Dark Riders that were a little bit idle, but now they're going to be moving in, attacking the Lothern Seaguard, and getting a nice little break here, most likely. Wand of Crydon once again juked by the High Elf forces. Assassin's Trophy active on Larry, maybe thinking she was going to be going into combat here. But Larry and the Eagle certainly have some really good gooning potential. They could go in there, go after the Canid Assassin, really cause some serious problems. And here the Reaver Cavalry should be able to outdo the Dark Riders with a little bit of support. And it looks like there is Archer support. So the Eagle Squad moving in, attacking the Bleak Swords and the Dread Spears, while the Lothern Seaguard with their spears out are going to be trying to hold this mainline engagement. High Elf Focus Fire going into the Coldlow Knights, definitely removing the mobility and mass from the Dark Elf army is a high priority here for the High Elves, because it does allow the Eagles and other characters to get real cheesy and do their business. Soul Stealer going down, it hits Lothern Seaguard here, it tickles the pickle here on the Mage. Not the most brutal Soul Stealer, ideally you would want to catch the High Elf characters here, but it doesn't seem like there's much of a choice. Jay Phoenix doing a very good job of avoiding that, but you know what, the bounce bar is kind of like creeping around. It's like, it's not point of no return. Morathi plus Canid Assassin on the ground could be a bit of a problem, but I mean, I feel like there's so much High Elf stuff left. And Larry plus the other Eagle, even with Morathi there, can honestly get in there and just break this Canid Assassin. And I think that's what Jay Phoenix is seeing here, is that, like, you know, Morathi, yeah, she's anti-large, she can do some work, but just cycle charge it just like that and then pull back if it doesn't work out. That's definitely the proper way to be playing this. So Archers ripping more shots, but the Druchii are rallying on many fronts. We got Dread Spears, we got Bleak Swords moving in, we got more Bleak Swords, Morathi and the Canid Assassin chasing down those Archers, and we will see if they can swarm in and get back in this game. The bounce power was much worse earlier. It almost looked like it was like a 75% for the High Elves, but in this case, it is creeping back towards the middle as ammunition does run a little bit dry, but I simply don't see any way that... although Morathi is a really scary duelist, and if she does have one Soul Stealer in the back pocket, there could be a big problem here for the forces of the Dark Elves, so... There they go, getting crumped. by the Dread Spears. Alariel, the Ever Queen, and the Great Eagles moving about, going after their next prey. We'll do a little bit of fast forwarding since both players are just kind of posturing and chasing things off the battlefield. Morathi basically chasing there to take advantage of obeying the attacking rule while also regenerating the balance of power. Or the Winds of Magic, excuse me. The High Elf army getting in position to unleash some firepower here into the forces of the Dark Elves, who are now advancing. Firepower going into the Candid Assassin, I think. It looks like it's a little bit hard to tell. Probably shooting into the Dread Spears might be a little bit more efficient just because obviously Ice Power is very aware of this and he's juking. But I mean, a couple shots might hit in here. It's hard to say. So we'll do a little bit of fast forwarding as the ammunition is juked. And now the Dread Spears are being focused, which is the correct play. Assassin's Trophy going in, but the Candid Assassin is going to be getting hit. But Morathi coming in. Star of Avalorn going down. The High Elves committing to the fight. And do they get the attack? It doesn't quite look like it. Maybe pulling in some Spearmen would help here too. But the Star of Avalorn doing great work. And oh my god, another final transmutation. Brutal. And that was overcasted. Oh my god, the devastation of the double magic caster here as the Eagles just go balls deep into this force and really, really tear it apart. Morathi didn't take too much damage from that final transmutation, actually, but the Candid Assassin did, and so too did the Dread Spears. And now it's basically just Morathi versus the world. So Morathi has a couple Bleak Swords around the map. We'll do a little bit of fast forwarding, but Morathi against the double Eagles is going to break. And it looks like Jay Phoenix is going to be winning the game, and the High Elves will be advancing on. So we have Imrik, who's advanced, and we do also have Jay Phoenix and the Everqueen advancing. Malekith has advanced for the Dark Elves, and we still have yet to see Rakarth. Rakarth has been added into the second round of the tournament and could potentially advance as well. Yes. All right, very cool build there by Jay. A lot of fun. Well played to Ice Power Total War. The dreaded Foot Morathi tried her best, but wasn't able to keep pace with the Eagles. A couple of small things in the beginning. Getting caught in the final transmutation blobs, and then the Candid Assassin dying in the beginning to the Eagles. I think that's straight up what lost the Dark Elves the game there. It was winnable for both sides, for sure. The builds were both good, but Jay Phoenix just got the nice plays there. GG, well played. Awesome game. Value accrued on the Mage of Metal, which I totally forgot about. 1,600. Pretty damn good, for sure. Larry got 15 herself, and the Eagle actually got 1,000. Yeah, that's pretty nice. Shutting down the Assassins early was really, really sweet. Beautiful stuff indeed. And now we go back to the old graphic. Let's minimize here. Do this. Can we minimize, please? Okay, there we go. To the web browser, we update it. Jay Phoenix will be advancing on and will be playing on the stream with Alariel, the Ever Queen. Pretty cool. So yeah, so far, the elves are doing very well. 1, 2, 3, 4 elves have made it to the round of 3. Granted, we have many more games we haven't cast from the other factions yet, so. Yeah, but having Morathi on the Pegasus could have been a problem too, because Alariel had Tempest, which means she would have gotten trapped in the sky and then gooned out most likely by the double Eagle. So it's a little bit risky. Granted, maybe on the Pegasus you could survive with the Candid Assassins shooting from the ground and a Soul Stealer to respond with, but it's still a little bit risky for sure. The Metal Mage was a huge, cool tech piece that did really, really well. So yeah. There's the current bracket, my friends. Going on to the next game for today. How many more do we have? It looks like we have 4 more games after this. We're not going to get through all the early round games because some of them haven't been played yet, but there are a couple that, yeah, some really good ones coming up here. Looks fine. That game is done. So now we can do... Who do we want to do here? We will do the Empire versus the Lizardmen. So we have Newport of ODM on Boris Todbringer facing off against Pugnabone on the Lizardmen. Should be a fun match. Yeah, the Imrik game was crazy. That was a really good game. Super hyped for sure. More good times to come, my friends. So we are in the Sword of Torgald for this map. I think it's the first time we've seen it today. Can't quite remember. Looks like Professor Pone has earned some fans, yes. I'm surprised he's not here in chat. He's almost here for all the streams, but he missed his own show. He missed his own show, indeed. But it's okay, Pone. I'm sure you can come back later and check out the chat. So Mazdamundi versus Boris, a pretty even matchup here. Boris is not bad here. You know, he regenerates. He's got good armor piercing. He brings a fair amount to the table, right? So it's certainly not bad by any stretch of the imagination. And here we are. Let's do it to it. Let's party. For Mazdamundi, going for a very elite build, actually. Holy shit. Look at this. 1, 2, 3 Temple Guard. It looks like 3 Saurus. We got Mazdamundi on Zlok, double Feral Bastillodon, and then a bunch of Skinks here. A very, very elite force. And for the forces of Newport, we have Boris Todbringer. We do also have Outriders to deal with the big armor. We got Swordsmen in the front line who are going to be very heavily outmatched. It looks like a cannon in the back handgunners, some Empire Knights, and halberds in reserve, with the Bright Wizard going to be the caster. So Burning Head will be okay against like Saurus. Not too good against Temple Guard, though. So Big Chungus Mazdamundi does take a little bit of damage, but the Lizards are not going to be letting that skirmish go for free. They move forward with the Chameleon Skinks, which of course are very, very annoying and hard to deal with for the Empire, in my opinion. I mean, like, they can outrun Empire Knights, right? Like, with their poison, it's like pretty much the same speed. Did Krokar survive? I don't recall. I don't recall, maybe. We'll take a look at the bracket here after this game, and we'll see if Krokar is still in it. But yes, yes. The Outriders retreating away from the Chameleon Skinks. The Hammer of the Witches in the backfield. It looks like it's just kind of sitting on Mazdamundi, but this is a very elite Lizardman front line coming in here from Pugnabone. Very unusual stuff, for sure. The Swordsman moving in. Toddy up in the sky, going to be bouncing in, going after the Feral Bastillodon. And here on the far side, we have the Empire Knights charging into the Saurus Warriors. Doing some okay damage, but, you know, they're going to be met by Temple Guard very, very quickly. And these Sigmarite Cavalry not going to be having a good time, despite all the State Troopers moving in. Boris Todbringer finds a pretty nice isolation here, actually going after the Feral Bastillodon, which he should be able to deal with by himself. And the Silver Bullets raining some hot lead here into Mazdamundi, and a big Burning Head going down does tickle the pickle of the Saurus, but unfortunately does not go through the Temple Guard, gets a little bit of a poor angle there. And now the Lizardmen do have a bit of an opening into the backfield, right? The Saurus as well as the Chameleons could move in and really start to pressure into the Great Cannon back here, or, you know, the handgunner line. Halberd's moving up, trying to rampage this Feral Bastillodon, while Boris Todbringer decides to actually sit and fight the Saurus here. I'm surprised Toddy isn't getting a little bit more aggressive, maybe going after Mazdamundi, who's quite low. But maybe he figures that Mazdamundi is under control with the Silver Bullets, plus the Great Cannon in the back just tearing into the Big Chungus. And he could go down here. He's at 8 leadership, very, very low, as another cannonball tears through Mazdamundi. State Troopers obviously losing most of their fights. Some Swordsmen over here and Spearmen are holding okay, simply due to the support of Boris Todbringer. And I forgot to mention there are actually 2 Great Cannons right here. So Toddy's putting up a good fight for sure. Bright Wizard is on the run though. Looks like the Feral Bastillodon's going to be giving him the business. And oh, that's not going to be fun for him as he does get punted to the Age of Sigmar. Or he is now relegated to the Cities of Sigmar Codex. Unfortunate stuff. Bright Wizard once again getting taken out by the Bastillodons. Those guys doing huge work. Burning Head going down in the front line does kind of go through some Saurus, but not too much damage really. But hey, at least he got a Burning Head off before all went down. Halberds are engaged against Bastillodons. Boris Todbringer moving in. And Mazdamundi, I think, is actually down. So Mazdamundi suffered a pretty unfortunate fate. It looks like the Big Chungus did fall. He got taken out by the double cannons, and Zlak is going to be here. It looks like he crushed a couple Outriders on the way down, which is a pretty funny shot right there. But, you know, the Empire has lost most of its infantry, most of its cavalry. Toddy is still functional with some halberd support. The cannons are doing their thing, but once the cannons are pressed on by skinks or other units like that, the balance of power, I think, might actually even go Lizard favored. Despite losing a Lord, which costs almost 3,000 gold, I think Pugnabone is in pretty good shape. And there's so many Temple Guard on the battlefield that, you know, Boris is going to have a hard time in the later stages of this game, really, really carrying and doing his thing. So we will see. Yes, Ulrich's wrath upon them, perhaps so. I really hope that Toddy gets like an Ulrich DLC someday that adds like another unique Empire sub-faction. That would be so badass. Like it's like different enough to feel like a new faction, right? That'd be really neat. Boris Todbringer pulling back up in the sky, going to be potentially going after the Feral Bastillodon. Burning Head going in once again from the Sons of Sigmar, but it looks like it actually roasts a fair amount of halberds, whereas the Lizard troops were able to mostly dodge that, which is pretty unfortunate for them. The last of these brave Sigmarites holding here. Oh no, and the Burning Head roasts the Hammer of the Witches crew. Oh, that's so unfortunate. That was like the most unfortunate Burning Head ever. It literally just like broke the back of that Empire position. The Bounce Power is pulling back towards the Lizardmen here, as they're taking the lead here in this game. Looks like the Empire is in a bit of a mass retreat here, as the Hammer of the Witches and the Spearmen and these different units are running for the hills. Bright Wizard being taken out by the Bastillodon. No way he's going to be coming back. Toddy being forced to fight against Temple Guard, trying to stabilize the Silver Bullets, which is a smart play. If he could stabilize the Silver Bullets, break off these Temple Guard, which are being buffed by a really good Cold Blood here, but they actually get broken due to terror, which is pretty funny. You would think Temple Guard would be like immune to terror, but I guess they're not. So the Temple Guard are broken, and the Silver Bullets are back online. Okay, that's pretty big. If the Silver Bullets can create some space, like get back here and just start ripping shots into all these Temple Guard units, man, oh man, that's going to be pretty big. And where's Toddy going to go? Is Toddy going to jump in and go after the Skink Priest? It looks like he wants to, but no. Toddy's going to be going in with his eye patch all pissed off against the Temple Guard, trying to get those terror routes, which then allows the Swordsmen, who are obviously a far inferior troop here, to chase down a very expensive unit via the Temple Guard. So we'll see if their leadership breaks. They're at 17. The terror route is real. They're now running, taking some heavy casualties. Will Toddy be able to put this game on his back? Maybe so. In the distance, Outriders shooting into the back of the Temple Guard here. Temple Guard are pushing in very rapidly, knowing that the Silver Bullets are a bit of a problem, but we will see what kind of damage they take on the approach. 653, but man, oh man, there is a ton of lizards on the battlefield, guys. There is a ton. Here comes the Feral Bastiladon. Toddy going to be rushing to intercept this mighty beast. Potentially get a terror route on the Saurus in the meantime. He does intercept the Bastiladon and is able to hold it at bay. Toddy's quite healthy, but man, there's just so many lizards on the battlefield. 70 Temple Guard here, 34 right here. We also have Chameleon Skinks, which are going to be a problem. Toddy does actually break off the Saurus right there and the Bastiladon. He's trying his best to carry this game and doing a pretty decent job of it. He pulls the Bounce of Power back to the middle. A Wild Cannon looks like it might get back online as well. The Hammer of the Witches crew is going to be jumping back on the cannons here. And maybe that will allow them to rip some shots into the Bastiladon, which is rampaging. One cannon does go down. Fire, reload, fire! They need to get that shot off on the Feral Bastiladon, but it looks like they are going to be breaking as the Skink Chief as well as the Chameleon Skinks here are able to really butter the bread of that Hammer of the Witches. Good night, sweet prince. You will be missed as the Hammer of the Witches crew is forced back here. Bounce Fire is pretty even. Toddy's got some Empire Knights left, as well as some Sigmarite Swordsmen, but the Temple Guard are proving to be a huge, huge hurdle to try and overcome. Outriders, yeah, if the Outriders were a little bit healthier in this stage, maybe, but the Chameleon Skinks this game have been doing such an exceptional job of dealing with them. So Toddy coming in, going after the Bastiladon, which is a smart play. Need to chase that thing off the battlefield for sure. But I don't know. Looking at the battlefield here, I don't think Toddy is going to be able to deal with all these different troops. That is so much stuff, guys. So much stuff. So there goes the Feral Bastiladon. Down you go, my friend. Toddy going after the other Bastiladon. We'll do a little bit of fast forwarding, but really good methodical hunting by Toddy. Actually pulls the Bounce Power back for the Empire a little bit as he's able to get some of the Chameleons as well. Maybe chasing that Bastiladon is the play. But check this out. It's basically Toddy versus the world. And terror is a big factor here for sure. There are some Sigmarite Spearmen and Swordsmen moving back in. I think Toddy has to wait for that, but I feel like this is too much. I feel like it's too much. Toddy really has put a lot on his back this game, but in the end, the Temple Guard probably just going to grind him down. He attacks with Toddy. Toddy being taken apart by the Temple Guard, which of course we kind of expected here. Swordsmen do move into combat. Toddy pulls back, bounces over here, but you can see there's just way too many reptiles here on the battlefield. Too much cold blood, baby. And with that, Pugnabone and Mazdamundi are going to be advancing on in the tournament as Toddbringer's valiant last stand is made here. His eye patch will live on in infamy as he did very well in this tournament. He had a really, really good group stage, actually. Mazdamundi claims the victory despite not doing a whole lot for himself this game. Mazdamundi did get karate chops, but on that same note, the Empire invested very heavily in sniping Lords, double Outrider, silver bullets, double cannon, and it didn't really have much in the way of infantry quality to deal with the Lizardman force. But yeah, GG, well played. It was an awesome game. Mazdamundi, 47 value. Boris only 1100 actually, surprising. I could have sworn he got more than that. I guess a lot of it was terror routes for Boris. And the Hammer of the Witches got 1500. Silver bullets 14. Not bad. Good builds on both sides. Temple Guard, a little bit unusual. I would have to say I wouldn't be expecting Temple Guard. I would not if I were playing Empire. That's a really like a weird X Factor pick. All right, and it worked though. It was great. Let's go update the brackets. We'll go to the web browser. Advancing on will be the big toad. Oh my god, we have a Lizardman mirror match. Oh no. Nakai? Guys, we have Nakai versus Mazdamundi battling for the Lizard Alpha. Wow. Check this out. Holy shit. That's some wild shit. So, yeah, that's going to be very interesting. That is going to be very interesting indeed. One sec, guys. Just got to go shut my window real quick. All right, guys, we're back. So let's go ahead and take a quick review of still who's in the tournament here. So still to play, we have Archaon versus Rakarth. Zach B. Sane up here, if you guys see where the mouse is. Zach B. Sane is playing Thorgrim. So Thorgrim will be playing the winner of Archaon and Rakarth. And it's really funny because even if Rakarth wins that, you know, he has anti-large, which is actually going to be useful against the dwarves for once, because his anti-large will be good against Thorgrim, which is really funny. So we have Tic-Tac-Toe against Ark in the Black. With Rame versus Felcon. Then we have a Prussian Prince on the Fey Enchantress. The Prussian Enchantress. Against Aerocrastic on Sigvald, the winner of which will play Jay Phoenix. We have Skrulk versus Tyrion. Skrulk Fredino. That's Alfredino versus Rider of Rohan. And then we have Papa Kolek, which is Papa Palpatine waiting there. Then we have the Red Duke against Grimgor. We have Heinrich Kemmler against Belegar. Sorry, I'm having to remember who's playing what because they didn't all like label themselves. Tehenowin is still here. He'll play the winner of Hadri's plus Isabella von Karstein, led by von Karstein. We have Tlaxlan Soothsayer, who's playing Volkmar the Grim, facing off against Hjallinale. So Krokar actually still is in the event. Krokar is here for Hjallinale. We have Ulrich versus KFC, 0. So that's the Warp Chicken versus Karl Franz here. Then Vicious Satsuma is playing Skarsnik. We have Skarsnik in the event still. And then, of course, Drycha is waiting for the winner of this particular bracket series. And Poison Ducky against Azag. So that is Eltharion the Grim versus Azag. And Dactyr is playing Durthu. So Durthu is going to be playing the winner of that series. And that's pretty much it. So that's kind of a summary of the brackets. But anyways, we'll get back to the games here. So let's do that. Just wanted to give you guys a breakdown. Rakarth is he's good to go. He's ready. So 3 more games today. We'll go to Clan Angrind facing off against the Barrow Legion. So it's going to be Uncle Gant on Heinrich Kemmler facing off against Clan Angrind. Holy shit, you guys are going to love this dwarf build. Hot damn. Yeah, this is going to be really fun. Yeah, Falcon is playing Tic-Tac-Toe, correct. Yeah, Krokar is still in there. Yeah, he still lives. He will be playing for his glory here. All right, so let's jump into the match. It is going to be on the Bone Zone, baby. Welcome to the Bone Zone, baby. So for the forces here of the Vampire Counts, it's going to be Zombie Nation. We have a Corpse card, a bunch of Cryptors, Cairn Wraiths, Heinrich Kemmler, Necromancer, as well as Vampire of Shadows for Pit of Shades. And it looks like it is going to be a Vargulf with double Vargeist. Vargeist are okay against dwarves. They have decent armor piercing, but guys, get a load of this dwarf build. Holy shit. So we got Belegar, Warriors of Dragonfire Pass, and Quad Hammer. So we have hammers here. We have Peak Gate Guard, just all heavy dwarf metal with triple Iron Drake Trollhammer Torpedo, Slayers in the backfield, and that is it. So the Trollhammer Torpedo is ripping into the Fellbats here, which is hilarious. So the Fellbat's getting pounded, but guys, we have 4 Dwarven Hammer teams. That is some seriously heavy metal shit. Yeah, I think Gorok got eliminated in the group stages. Yeah, he did. So Trollhammer Torpedo is able to fend off those Fellbats. I would imagine any flyers that do come in here are going to be meeting a similar fate, as the Trollhammer Torpedoes do turn about face, now going to be going after these other Fellbats. And the Dwarven Hammers stand ready. We will see. Vampire Counts have the Red Duke still in the tournament. They have Heinrich Kemmler here, of course. I'm trying to think who else. Isabella von Karstein is also in the finals. So there are a fair amount of Vampire Counts still lurking in the shadows. Vampire Coast has been completely eliminated from the tournament, as has Norska. There's a couple factions that have fallen, but we will see how this goes. Yes. Hammer time. Peak Gate Guard, really, really good counter against Cairn Wraiths, that's for sure. And here you can see the Peak Gate Guard are making a very aggressive move out here to go after the Cairn Wraiths. Trollhammer Torpedoes now going to be dove by all the Vargeist. Vargeist clearly looking for that bread, but the Slayers are going to be hot on their tails here. Now the Hammer's moving forward. We have Gotrek, we have Belegar, and a nice little rear charge here. Look at that. Van Hall's Dance Kebab here, giving a huge buff to this Vampiric force. Ton of melee attack surrounding the Peak Gate Guard, but the Peak Gate Guard still, despite being surrounded and taking a ton of burst damage, are getting some damage back on the Cairn Wraiths, and are certainly doing Grumney proud here. So Dwarf Warriors moving forward to intercept the Tithe, and I believe the Slayers are now piling into the frontline fight. Belegar Ironhammer going after the Vargulf here, hasn't been able to get too much damage yet, but a really good alpha strike here by the Vampire Counts, actually. The Van Hell's Dance Kebab plus the rear charge from the Vargeist with the Blue Mohawks was able to really crush the Peak Gate Guard very, very quickly, but it's okay. You lose one hammer, you got more. There's a bunch of hammerers here. So we do have these hammers going to be moving in. I believe there's some in reserve back here somewhere else. Yes, there's another unit. And the Vargeist are now kind of getting taken down by some just infantry chaff, basically. The Dwarf Warriors and Hammer teams are grinding them to dust. In the front, Belegar stands alone. Him and Gotrek are basically fighting shoulder to shoulder here. Krell has also been summoned, so Krell is here. He's going after the man Gotrek. Gotrek is getting a little bit damaged. Bounce power is pretty even at this point. I would say nobody's in really a clear state of advantage. The Dwarves did take a bunch of Alpha Strike damage in the beginning, but now the Dwarves are slowly starting to stabilize their back line. The Hammer team's cleaning up the Vargeist, which means that the Trollhammer Torpedoes, considering this Vampire army's mobility is gone, if the Vargeist are gone, the Fellbats are gone, those Trollhammer Torpedoes are going to really unleash hell. So Vargeist dropping in here. Slayers surrounding to fight. 306 HP. Slayers should be able to chop them up pretty quick. 187 HP. Each of those Slayer attacks adding a ton of damage to the old pool. Trollhammer, Trollhammer, Trollhammer. So all 3 Trollhammers are in good shape, which is really, really not good for the vampire counts. And the hammer teams, despite the PK guard taking an alpha strike, they're still going strong. Belegar's alive. I believe Gotrek might have fallen. I think Gotrek got surrounded and beaten down by Krell and the vampire and pretty much the whole vampiric goon squad here. But, you know, Gotrek's sacrifice will not be in vain. Balance of power, though, is slightly vampire favored. But the dwarves are really going to be quite solid in the grind now. If they can get those Iron Drakes kind of secure and, you know, put them up in a little high ground position, have them start blasting into the Crypt Horrors and the other large units, I think this could be a very, very spicy game for sure. Yeah, it looks like Gotrek is gone. Oh, yeah, here he is. Here's Gotrek. You can see him right here. He had a little bit of a rough run, but, you know, he tried his best. He held back the vampiric tide for quite some time and was no joke. Belegar is still alive, though, and it looks like there's going to be potentially a Pit of Shades here. Ooh, nice Pit of Shades coming in there from Uncle Gant and the Barrow Legion, tearing through the Dwarven Elite Infantry. The Hammers, as well as the Dwarf Warriors, getting caught in that Pit of Shades right there. Slayers now moving across to try and secure their back line. And it looks like the Iron Drakes are both shooting. I don't know if these ones are. They're kind of in the bushes here, but yeah, the Iron Drakes are now shooting. If we actually look in closely, you can see the Iron Drake torpedoes are coming out of the forest. Some are hitting into the trees, but many of them are also hitting this Vargulf here. Who, wow, the Vargulf is getting popped in the face. So vampire counts are ahead on the balance of power, but taking out this Vargulf here could be a very, very big power play. We will see. We will see indeed. The dwarves being forced backwards, pumping them dwarven legs in the opposite direction of their enemy. As the Iron Drakes with the Trollhammer torpedoes are trying to get online and fire. Here the Hammer squads and the Longbeards and all these different units are still holding the front line together relatively well. Here we get the Peak 8 Guard coming back in. Look at these heroes. Actually, the Peak 8 Guard get a little bit of shock damage and almost crumble some of these units, including the Cairn Wraiths. There's only 17 models left, but obviously Peak 8 Guard are a very, very high leadership unit, and they're going to hold to the bitter end. But having those Trollhammer torpedoes online is pretty big. Yeah, look at the damage on the Vargulf. It's in trouble. It's not critical binding quite yet, or not breaking is what I meant to say. It's holding. The Hammer team's still fighting that bump and grind fight up on the high ground. We have Slayers holding with Belegar, but the Crypt Horrors moving in from Uncle Gant, certainly a good play. Trying to get on top of the Trollhammer torpedoes. Really, really need to shut those guys down, but man, oh man, the Peak 8 Guard fighting to the, like, almost the last dwarf. Longbeard's also doing that as well, able to break down the Crypt Horrors, mind you. And I think this Vargulf probably is going to crumble down, although it looks like its leadership does stabilize. If the Iron Drakes can go in guard mode and rip one more shot, that'd be really strong. Heinrich Kemmler getting his fancy wizard hat dirty as well, but the Iron Drakes just ignoring him. Going into guard mode. Here comes the torpedoes! Fire, reload, fire! And the Vargulf is down for the count as the Iron Drakes rotate into position and take out the Vargulf with the assassination attempt there. Beautiful stuff indeed. So Longbeard's still going strong. Hammer team's still fighting up on the high ground. 2 Slayers, or 17 Slayers actually, and Belegar still doing their thing. So the true king of Carrick 8 Peaks pulling this game back, and I think now he's got a grudge to settle. He sees that Necromancer. He sees Heinrich Kemmler. He's like, oh, baby, I'm coming for you. So he's moving across, it looks like, although he gets attacked by the Vampire in the back, which occupies his attention. Sword of Anti-Heroes popped on the Vampire, and the Vampire is doing some big damage. Vampire with insane stats. 65, 45, 38. Trollhammer torpedoes are stable, so 2 Trollhammer torpedoes ripping into the Corpse Guard here. Look like they're going to be able to finish that bad boy off. And the Dwarven Hammer teams in the tree line really just methodically grinding through the vampiric forces. 1,400 value they have paid for themselves. And it looks like the zombies are going to be brought down here. We will see. So Belegar is not the last dwarf in the tournament. Belegar is still in the tournament, as is the High King Thorgrim, who we have yet to see play. But the other dwarves, Ungrim as well as the white dwarf, Grombrindal, have been eliminated from the matches. So this is pretty big for Dwarvish pride here. They certainly want to keep Belegar in the event, so grudges can continue to be satisfied. Now for the vampire counts, it's not quite do or die yet. There are other vampire counts in the tournament, but Belegar with some brutal Dwarven Kite here. Check this shit out. He's basically just running these forces around to buy more time for the Trollhammer torpedoes to really just kind of torpedo in and get some good damage. And it looks like, I can't quite tell what they're shooting here. Heinrich Kemmler going to be dropping a zombie summon back here, I think. Looks like he does. Nice zombie summon right on top of the Iron Drake Trollhammer torpedoes, which is also going to obstruct these Dwarf Warriors, therefore allowing the Cairn Wraiths to flank around. This is a razor close game, guys. Super, super close. All right, so Belegar is being attacked here. He gets karate kicked. Apparently, the Necromancers take some karate classes. Oh, yeah, and the vampire coming in as well. Belegar really is going to have to put this game on his back here. He's being circle beaten by all these characters, but he needs to survive. He's occupying a massive portion of the vampire count power force. So if he can kind of keep them busy while the rest of the Dwarven army cleans up, that's pretty massive. And I mean, guys, look at this. I mean, there's basically zombies. We have 2 units of hammers, which are going to just dunk on this Necromancer here. Looks like he stroked his Forbidden Rod a little bit too hard. He was just getting too busy with that thing. And, you know, you got to be careful when you're stroking your rod. And The Necromancer does go down because it actually does do damage. So now the Hammer teams should be able to do well against the Cairn Race with a little bit of support. We got Slayers rear charging them, which will trigger a leadership penalty. So take a look at the leadership here. They're at 32, 17, and the Slayers get into combat. Looks like they didn't quite hit them in the back. And Heinrich Kemmler dropping another summon. Wow, guys, the balance of power is dead even, and Belegar able to get back. Trollhammer torpedoes have some good ammo, and look at this, the Vampire is being nuked by the Trollhammer torpedoes. And if Heinrich Kemmler has to fight Belegar, even in this state, he'd probably lose. Belegar is a raid boss for sure. And no, Cairn Raids are actually not terrible against dwarves. They're occasionally used. Granted, some dwarves have been teching against them, bringing the peak gate guard, but oh my goodness, look at the nuking! The Vampire can't escape the dwarven powder. She's at negative 33 leadership. She's crumbling with her her fancy gown there, but I don't know if she's going to survive this much longer. She's trying to get into combat. The Trollhammer torpedoes still ripping more shots. Looks like she was able to successfully juke them. Oh, right in the face! And down she goes! The Vampiress is done! And now, my friends, we have 1,000,000 Hammer teams versus Heinrich Kemmler. So we'll do some fast forwarding here as the zombies kind of just grind him out. Oh my god, this is so close. Heinrich and the zombies, the dwarves are super beat up, but I mean, I think dwarven leadership will probably carry the day here. It still says the balance of powers vampire count favored, but I feel like that's super deceiving. I don't know how many zombie summons are left in the back pocket too. That's going to be something to consider for sure. Yeah, the Hammer's running, which is smart. You don't want to be wasting time fighting zombies. Trollhammer torpedoes ripping shots into the Cairn Race in the back, and it looks like the Cairn Race do take a nice shot. Yeah, they get blasted pretty good. Balance power actually goes into the favor of the vampire counts again, which is kind of shocking. I feel like the dwarves have a lot of stuff left. But the Cairn Race do get the Undeath Resurgent. They bring really, really good armor piercing to the battlefield, and it looks like Belegar is getting in there as well. He's going to be trying to take down these Cairn Race. He does karate kick one Cairn Wraith into the Shadow Realm as the Trollhammer torpedoes just keep nuking, man. Everything they hit is just getting deleted. Heinrich Kemmler has really bad armor piercing too, but he does break Belegar, it looks like. Or Belegar gets terrified by the Cairn Race. So I'm sure he'll be back here in just a moment. Cairn Wraiths are at negative 30 leadership. The Dwarf Warriors and the Longbeards moving in, preparing to do battle. Balance of power is massively in the favor of the vampire counts though. Massively. Why is that? I guess Heinrich Kemmler might still have some Winds of Magic in his pocket. I guess Trollhammer torpedoes are about out of ammunition, but the problem is for Heinrich is, if he doesn't have any more I think if Heinrich has more zombie summons, he can win this. But if he doesn't, I think he loses, actually. But look at the Trollhammers nuking Heinrich Kemmler! He used the Cloak of Mist and Shadows. Very good play there by Uncle Gantz. That saves him a ton of damage, but aside from that, Heinrich Kemmler getting blasted pretty good. Now, looking around here, let's take a big macro look at the battlefield. It looks like it's pretty much all Dwarvish troops here. Belegar coming in to satisfy the grudge. Satisfy the grudge! He's going for it! Get in there, Belegar! Oh, come on, don't do us like this. Okay, he's going in for the kill now. Yep, the dwarves are piling in with everything. Oh, that's the wrong button. That's slow-mo. Even the Iron Drakes have to get their hands dirty, but Iron Drakes do have 125 armor and really good leadership, so it's going to be super hard. Are the Iron Drakes going to just be able to solo Heinrich? Oh my god, they might. Oh, that's so funny. Holy shit. Heinrich Kemmler surrounded by all of the Iron Drakes, and the Iron Drakes appear to actually be bringing him down. And Belegar just playing it very, very safe, which is smart. Undeath Resurgent is active. Although I think Belegar could be cycle charging here. But the Iron Drakes are just beating them. They're out of their ammunition. They've been putting in so much work this game. Heinrich Kemmler losing to the Iron Drakes. Oh man, if he had a zombie summon, that would be so huge, but he must be out. Belegar coming in for the Death Thrust, maybe. It doesn't look like it. Still just being very, very careful. And now comes Belegar. The grudge will be satisfied. He is here. Heinrich Kemmler is slain by the Dwarven throng. Wow, what a game! The Iron Drakes not only defeating the vampire counts in ranged combat, but also in melee. GG, well played. The grudge has been satisfied. The dwarves will be advancing on. Oh, man. So, 1,000. Gotrek got worked on pretty good. But Hammer teams, yeah, 1,700, 2,100, 1,000, and 800. Even the Dwarven Hammer team that got crumped still almost got 1,000 value. Trollhammer torpedoes, 2,000, 2,625. Talk about value city on that Dwarven army. Hot damn, and it was still so close. Heinrich did okay, of course. The Vampirella got about 1,700. Cairn Race, one of them got 1,000. Vargeists, I find Vargeists are always a bit of a trap, honestly. They seem okay, but in every game we've seen today and in recent tournaments, the Vargeists have just been, not really doing much, which is kind of unfortunate, so. All right, guys, now it is time for the next match. Let us go ahead and do it. They keep having to teach this old man a lesson. Yeah, apparently so. Hey, Dries, as a matter of fact, since you're here, let's go ahead and do your game. So, the dwarves will be advancing on to face off against Professor Pone. So it is High Elves versus Dwarves, which is very, very High Elf favored. However, the High Elves are being forced to play a very suboptimal Lord in Imrik. So I think that makes the matchup a little bit better for the Dwarves. Yeah, so we'll see how that goes. All right. Wesley, thank you for your donation. Toss a coin to your streamer. Thanks for the fun. Hey, thank you, man. Appreciate that. A lot of good games today. We're getting through it. The tournament is moving along very smoothly. And now it is time for the next match. Hey, Drees, you want to do your match? I think it could be fun, right? So Skaven versus Vampires is an interesting one. It's one that I used to think was very, very favored for the for ye old Vampires. But a lot of Skaven players have been evolving and trying to figure it out here. So that match is done. That one is done there. And we've done that one as well. All right. So now we have Hadries on Clan Eschen, the Deathmaster, facing off against Isabella von Karstein. Yes. You guys think Imrik is going to pull out the win in the whole tournament? That would be some crazy shit. The Lord of Dragons taking it all. Yeah. All right, guys. It is time for Hadries, the Skaven King, to face off against von Karstein with Isabella von Karstein. So very thematic for sure. Rakarth is actually going to be playing next stream. Yeah, the players haven't played the game yet. I thought we had a replay for him, but we don't yet. So sorry about that, guys. I know, a little bit of false advertising on the thumbnail, but hey, at least you got an Imrik victory. You got an Imrik victory, so you got to take what you can get. All right, guys, here we have the Skaven and Hadries. Who do you think is going to win? Are you rooting for your boy Hadries? He's in chat, by the way, so watch your words carefully. And Deathmaster Snickich, or are you rooting for Isabella von Karstein and the Blood Chalice of Bathorai and the Double White Kings? Let's do it to it. All right, guys. For the build here of the Skaven, we have an Eschen Sorcerer. Ooh, I love it. Yeah, Eschen Sorcerer for that annoying poke. Basically, you can just spam cast the Ninja Stars on a character and eventually wear them down. That's kind of a cool tech piece against vampires. We've got a Warp Lightning Cannon, Skaven Slave Slingers, we got Rat Ogres, we have Deathmaster Snickich, a Plague Priest for the Mortis Engine, very, very good here. And look at this, the Storm Vermin. Oh, yeah. Storm Vermin, Storm Vermin, and Storm Vermin. Wow, how many are there? 4. He's got triple halberd and single sword and shield. Look at this. Innovations for sure. So Warp Lightning Cannon, or the Ninja Star actually from the Eschen Sorcerer, does blast Isabella in the face. So she takes that Ninja Star like a champ. Von Karstein's forces are moving forward, but takes a little bit of a beating early. The Devils of Schwarzhofen, I don't know how to say that, but they do get hit with a Warp Lightning Cannon, which actually appears to not take out a model, but does some really, really big HP damage. In the meantime, the Black Knights are moving about. Oh, look at this. We also have Rattling Gunners in the back. Hadri's really spoiling us here today. Teethbreakers will be quite exceptional against the cavalry units if they can avoid being summoned on or different things like that. And now we do have a White King coming up, but you got to be careful. If that White King overextends, and Hadri's, of course, gets that nice Deathmaster jump on the... Yeah, oh, this could be good. Looks like the White King is going to get away. Concealment Bombs was used. Okay, Deathmaster does drop it, but the snare isn't too long, so I don't know if he's going to get in there. I think the White King will be able to get away, unless Micro is lapsed here. Okay, at least you're going to get a couple attacks. So the White King will take a little bit of a shank. It is going to be forced back, and now the other White King does charge in, going after Deathmaster and returns the favor. But Deathmaster might decide to stay. It's a little bit hard to tell. Actually going to be using Slippery, getting away. So, you know, 2 shanks there on the White Kings, 1 shank on Deathmaster. Not the worst trade in the world. Now, Storm Vermin are pulling back the Council Guard. There are some very sneaky Feasters in the Dusk here on the flank. I would imagine Hadri's will probably drop a summon here from the Plague Priest to deal with them. Otherwise, they're going to get on top of the Teethbreakers, and that's going to be a little bit scary. In the front, though, a little bit of a mistake. The Eschen Sorcerer does get caught in open field and is being beaten down by White King, while the Rattling Gunners and Warp Lightning Cannons continue to tee off into the Devils. The Storm Vermin partially intercept the Crypt Ghouls, and it looks like Deathmaster Snickich going to be jumping in. He might use his anime spin. I don't know if he has it. No, he doesn't have the Whirl of Weeping Blades. And the Vargheists do jump on top of the Warp Lightning Cannon. Now, the Skaven do have some spears and other supporting units nearby. Should be able to do okay there. Unfortunately, the Eschen Sorcerer is getting beaten down pretty bad in the front. But, you know, at the very least, he's occupying 2 powerful Vampire Count units, which could be, you know, causing disruption back here. But the Mortis Engine effect and the Plague Priest able to finish off the Feasters in the Dusk. The Rattling Gunners able to survive. Warp Lightning Cannon is still in line too, so they should be able to pull back through the Skaven Slave Spears. And just like we've seen in pretty much every game today, Vargheists just don't pay for themselves. They just get wrecked. I feel like Felbats would just be exponentially more efficient. And I don't know how this is happening, but the most valiant Skaven character ever, this freaking Eschen Sorcerer, has been just getting punted around the battlefield. And somehow, some way, he has survived and continues to occupy 3 vampire characters, which, like I said, if Isabella was back here, zombie summons would be a problem, but instead they're occupied on the Eshin Sorcerer, who's just taking it like a champion, truly a ninja rat. Now, the Devils do get taken down. The Warp Lightning Cannon also potentially going to get broken here, but the Mortis Engine doing some really good work, and the Storm Vermin Halberd still proving to be a very efficient tool as they hold back the Black Knights and other vampiric forces. Something that's really cool about the Storm Vermin tech here from Hadri's also, that I love, is that Scab Scrape is such a common thing in this matchup, and normally it just annihilates all the Skaven infantry. But in this case, since you actually have armor on the Skaven roster, it's not quite as efficient. So the Rattling Gunner's getting a Last Samurai shooting up into Lady Karstein. She better watch out. That is a lot of stopping power, instantly putting her down to like 60%. And there's Pebbles, there's miniguns, and she does drop a zombie summon on top of the Teethbreakers, but not before she loses about 30% of her HP and damage. And that frickin' Eshin Sorcerer is still going strong. He might actually survive this battle. I don't know how he is surviving. He has been getting beaten down by so much this entire fight. Storm Vermin Halberd's actually holding back, but there is a Mortis Engine from the Vampires, which I kind of neglected to look at in the beginning. But the Mortis Engine is a very good tool here, especially against an Elite Skaven army. Just whenever you say Elite Skaven, just make sure you include some air quotes. But basically, yes, the Mortis Engine able to break the Storm Vermin there. And now we'll be moving on to the back line as the Pit Fighters of Helm's Deep continue to fight. Deathmaster Snakeage does use the snare here on the White King, but is he going to be following up? It looks like Deathmaster is kind of sitting over in the center of the battlefield. I have a feeling, though, in a moment he'll be rotating back here, or maybe he just like dropped his attack order or something. Who knows? But Rattling Gunners are taken offline. It's a very, very close fight. Bounce power is pretty damn even at this point. The fact that the Vampires still have a Mortis Engine and there's not much left for the Skaven ranged force is a little bit problematic, but on that same note, both sides do indeed have a Mortis Engine. And, okay, the Warp Lightning Cannon's still going. I thought that got taken offline, but the Warp Lightning Cannon shooting into the Mortis Engine will be quite good. Deathmaster Snakeage, he's got a contract to fulfill here on these White Kings. Looks like he's going to be pursuing here, and he does get in there, shanking the White King in the back. White King is down to about 2,000 HP, and, yeah, we'll continue getting hunted. Deathmaster, of course, doesn't have as good of a mass profile as the White King, so he's going to have a little bit of trouble chasing him through infantry, but you know, both sides are doing the Mortis Engine. Very, very good summon there by Von Karstein. He summons on top of the Ikit's Zap Zap Cannon, which has done a fair amount of damage against that Mortis Engine. And now it looks like Deathmaster is being attacked here by the White King and the Mortis Engine. A little bit of a scary affair here for the Ratmaster, but yeah, he might be able to escape it, or at least get a decent trade out of it. Isabella is pretty decent in combat too. She has 480 weapon strength against light armor. She hits very, very hard, so you got to be careful. So the Skaven slaves piling in, Halberds piling in from the other side, and you know, the heavy Skaven armor appears to be really carrying the day. I mean, despite the Mortis Engine from the Vampires, and the fact that Hadri's has been able to keep that freaking Warp Lightning Cannon going this late in the game is a huge, huge accomplishment. But now I think the Vampires finally realizing it needs to go down or else the Mortis Engine is going to die. Do indeed use a zombie summon on top of it. It could Zap Zap Cannon, which is pretty much enough to shut it down. So that should be all she wrote. But guys, I am seeing a body of Skaven armor. Just a massive horde. The Council Guard have 112 models. Deathmaster Snakeage is cackling somewhere. Oh, Isabella, you're in trouble. You better pray, baby. So here comes Deathmaster piling in. Isabella gets shanked in the back. That is going to be a fair amount of damage, but the White King comes in. And the White King intercepts Deathmaster, pushes it off Isabella, but not before Isabella takes some damage. And look at this. The Teethbreakers are back too. 11 of 24 models. That is certainly a respectable amount of stopping power. And the Skaven Mortis Engine has pretty much cleared out all of the Vampire Count chaff, and Hadri's is pulling ahead in the Bounce of Power as Deathmaster Snakeage gets in there and starts shanking this Mortis Engine. Negative 15, negative 27. It looks like the Mortis Engine is going to be going down here, and down it goes. Deathmaster Snakeage fulfilling contracts all over the place. And Tretch actually did lose in the tournament. Yeah, he lost in the qualifier rounds. But guys, it looks like the Skaven Stormvermin build is going to be pulling it out. Beautiful play on both sides, but the Skaven armor does win the day. Isabella's trapped. She's being taken out by Halberds. Deathmaster coming in for the kill. Will he get it? And he does get the shank, and Isabella goes down in a body of rats, in a sea of rats. And the White King is going to be following in suit. And Hadri's and Deathmaster Snakeage will be advancing on in the tournament. Beautiful play. Beautiful play. Really cool, unique build. I never would have thought to go that heavy in Stormvermin. I always assumed they would just, you know, get outvalued, but they were solid that match. Even with the misplay, the Eshin Sorcerer misplay, I think actually kind of helped Hadri's. Because, like, Isabella should have shut down that Warp Lightning Cannon in, like, the first 2 minutes of the game. But instead, it was able to shoot, like, most of the battle. I think that was probably the biggest factor that went really, really poorly for the Vampires. Like, if the Warp Lightning Cannon got shut down earlier, could have been a very different game. Cool stuff. Stormvermin, you know, 1,000 value, 1,600 on that one. Not bad. Council Guard got 1,200 value. Solid, solid stuff. And again, Vargheist not paying for themselves. No surprises there. And aside from that, the build's fine. I think just got the Vargheist and get a little bit more width and you'll be okay. Yep. if you want to play in future Legendary Lord tournaments, which I probably won't have another one until Warhammer 3 comes out, you just got to message me, basically. Yeah, when I announce it in Discord, you just message me. All right, guys, great game. Let us go here and update ye old bracket. I'm going to pull this up here in just a moment. All right. Cool. So the web browser. Hadries will be advancing. Now, Hadries has to face Lizardmen, so it's going to be Deathmaster versus Lizard Moses. So let's update this. All right. He advances. So we're getting a little bit of a picture of the field. There are a handful more games which have been completed. But, so I'm going to save those for another stream. So let's see. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, we can actually do one more game today, I think. Or maybe let's just do a free-for-all. Yeah. Let's do a free-for-all. So, guys, that is going to conclude today's Legendary Lord battles. We've had, how many battles did we do today? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, we did 10 battles. The next stream we do will have 13 battles, and that will conclude the early rounds. And then we go to round 3 and beyond, which is going to be the grand finals. So that will be one big stream where we do all of that. Very similar to like Faction Wars, because in Faction Wars, we usually have 16 matches, I think. Of course, with the best of 3, it can be more, but you guys get the picture. So that is it for today. You can see the current state of affairs. For those who have made it to the stream so far, Lizardmen are going to have a mirror match. We have High Elves who've made it. We have High Elves here, Dwarves, Wood Elves, and Dark Elves. But again, it might seem like a lot of Lizardmen and Elves have made it, but that's just because we covered their games today. We still have Bretonia, we have Chaos here, we have Tomb Kings here, we have Dwarves, Chaos, and more Dark Elves. We have Empire Lizardmen. You know, there's a lot of factions that just haven't played yet. So we'll be seeing them. Once I get the rest of the replays, I will do a stream here. So yeah, GG, well played. That was a super fun stream. If you guys enjoyed the format and the battles, do drop a like on the stream. And now, my friends, we will close out today's stream with the signature FFA. So if you guys want to play, I'm going to fire up a lobby right now. It's going to be called Turin FFA. And Turin FFA. And the password is going to be 1234. So, all right. Very cool. Very good. Turin FFA, password 1234. Hope to see you guys in there. T. Carter, hello for the future. Hello, the future. Just caught up with the Belegar game. Satisfy the grudge. Hey, yeah, that was a great game. That was a great game. All right, so let's make some space here. Today's going to be a bit of a shorter stream because tomorrow we're going to have probably a 3 to 4 hour stream, if not longer. Yeah, of just nonstop casting. Carter, thanks again for that donation. Really appreciate that. Hey, Italian Spartacus dropped in too. Look at that. Okay, we got Red Devil and Poison Ducky. Yeah. Let's go. Yeah, every game that brought a Vargeist lost. And then we got Joe in here too. Joe, he's got Hulk Hogan as his picture. That's pretty cool. All right, let's do the Desert Canyon is fine. Let me get a screen blocker. What do we want to see? What do we want to see here? Intro graph. Need to get the Wookiee blocker up. There you go. He will block the army for us. All right, it's fine. And boom. Loopy, oh no, you tried 5 times. Loopy, you gotta get your game in with Maximus Decimus, so I wanted to cast a Rakarth game today, but when I went to go check the folder, it wasn't there. You guys haven't played yet, so. Tomorrow's stream, Hank, is going to be at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, so much earlier than today's stream. Better for you Europeans, for sure. And it's going to be the quarterfinals for the Warhammer World Championship, a big-time event for sure. So that's going to be super hyped. So we're going to be doing 4 best of 5s, and then the weekend after that, I'm going to be casting the grand finals. Yeah. With Italian Spartacus, actually, if he's still in chat. Yeah. All right, so what do we want to play? What do we want to play? No, I'm not bringing Vargeist. So you want some Beastmen? You want some Brayherd? Okay, we can do Brayherd. We can do the Beastmen. You guys want to see me lose? All right. So be it. Let's go Beastmen then. All right. Get you going. Yes, good, Anakin. Good. Good. That looks fine. No worries, Loopy. It's this event obviously is very casual. You can take your time. No, don't. I don't want you to feel any stress about it. Just play when you guys can. All right, that looks fine. We're going with the Beastmen. I don't know. Yeah, if you just go to Google, Hank, and type 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time to UTC time, and you'll be able to pull it up. So, yeah, kind of scary, actually. We have a couple vampires here, which I'm certainly not looking forward to fighting. But it is what it is. We can't have it all here. Probably need some pigs. Pigs are always good. Get some you guys, because that'll be fun. All hail the mighty, they're arising from the deeps. With crooked sails and incredible tales, we'll turn on the unit caps. All right. Good. Good, Anakin, good. Ready. Just unit caps. From ladder. Enjoy. All right, so I'm all ready. The Bray Herd stands ready for battle. No mercy shall be shown by the Gorble. He is coming for blood. And yeah, that's it. Beastmen are gonna get destroyed. No, Kazarak always is like funny for like a minute, and then he just dies, and you just lose. It's like, yeah, Kazarak is like such a disappointment. It's a shame. All hail the mighty. It sucks that we're Beastmen into like Coast and Vampire counts, but Poison Ducky's probably gonna meme, so that'll give me a decent chance here. All right. Yeah, probably not Mr. Pop. Probably not. Or Mr. Prop, I think. Can't quite see. If you hail the mighty Anticity, Kraken King will arrive, I know. He just arises from the deep. San Q, thank you so much for the membership. Welcome to the Dukes of Haggard. Yes, yes. No Minobus? Oh, you don't think I have Minotaurs? You know, the Beastmen, though, aren't as bad as you think, Creed. They have a couple good matchups. Yeah, the Beastmen aren't a complete joke. Yeah. Hey, lads, just joined. How far are we along in the rounds? Mort, we finished the tournament games, but you can go back and watch them. We're just doing the FFA to close out today's stream. Yeah. Yes, unleash the Kotep. You noticed me. Oh, man. So, yeah, Desert Canyon, probably not the best map for Beastmen. Although it's got plenty of room to maneuver. Yeah, but you can go back and check out all the games. Of course, the stream will be uploaded later, and it's going to have timestamps for all the games, so it'll be efficiently done, so, yeah. Release the cow noises! We have some pretty strong players here in this FFA, so I don't know how well the cows are going to do. I don't think the game crashed. It's sitting there like... Oh, come on, don't do this to me. Okay, it's moving. I was going to be so sad if the game crashed. Hey, San Q. He says, hey, Turin, I can't do super chats where I'm located. How can you... You're doing enough, man. You don't need to do anything else. You're a channel member that, you know, that gives me a couple bucks a month. I really appreciate it, man. You don't need to do anything else. Thank you. I appreciate you, brother. Enjoy the emojis, hand-drawn by Lady Turin. My bro has played with Poison Ducky never times. Yeah, Poison Ducky's great. He's playing Eltharion in the Legendary Lords tournament. He'll be coming up soon. In the next stream, part 2, Eltharion will be facing off against Azag, which is actually a good matchup for Eltharion, because he can Tempest him if he decides to go in the sky. Release your moves! Release the inner Beastmen! Release the beast. Yeah, but tomorrow we'll have the World Championship stream, which is going to be really fun. I think they're right on today. I think on my son Herbert Walker's channel, they're doing like the round of 8. Then tomorrow we do the round of 4, and so honestly, I brought a pretty well-rounded Beastman army. It's not going to be like just all like Haggard, but Mino Boss. It's like it's a well-rounded army because I want to be able to defend myself if I get zerged. Although honestly, in FFA, Mino Boss might just be better objectively. We went with Malagor, the Dark Peacock. He is going to be coming in with Viletide and Traderkin, just Walmart Final Transmutation basically. We got archers here in the 3rd. Boom, boom, and boom. And we also have some pigs as well. 2 minus with great opens. Release the wild hogs! Release the hogs! Poor Beastmen, just getting laughed at by everyone. Alright, looks fine. Malagor's in 3. The moo! Alright, so who could Vanguard on this? Not Red Devil. Normally Vampire counts are a hard counter to Beastmen. I don't know if I want to fight Red Devil, but I think I'm going to, just because, you know, it's a straight up fight. Poison Ducky's over there. And it looks like, oh shit, they're all undead. Oh shit, I got 3 undead here. Oh, that's gonna be really rough for the Beastmen here. I think we could still, if we can really get a good victory over the vampires here, then maybe we could pull off some witchcraft. Yeah, my son Herbert Walker, he's great. An amazing commentator, and honestly, yeah, really just a pillar of the multiplayer community. He's super consistent with his tournaments, you know. No Sigor today. I wanted to be slightly more mobile, so that's kind of the game plan. So yeah, I'll be casting the round of 4 quarterfinals tomorrow, and then the grand finals the next weekend for the Warhammer World Championship, which has, I believe, close to a $4,000 prize pool. It's pretty insane. Pretty insane for sure. Yeah, you know, Rogue Bulbasaur, if you want to buy Beastmen, if you only want to do multiplayer, it's worth it, but the Beastmen campaign is terrible, so it's not worth it for that. You might honestly be better off just waiting for a Beastmen DLC. But if you just want it for multiplayer, then yes. But for their campaign, it's pretty trash, unfortunately. Alright, let's do this. See what's cracking. Okay. We gotta, okay, let's chill for a second. Because I need to see if he's gonna come troll me with the bats. If he is, then I need to deal with that. Oh my god, look at Kamikaze Joe's army. Look at this army here. It's double Titan, just arcing on foot. Oh, I love it. Holy shit. Yeah, so we need to like pull back a little bit, because if I get flanked in the back by the Vampire Coast, we're not gonna have a good time. So yeah, we're just gonna pull back, try and get Traderkins overcasted. What does it do again? Increased damage? Yeah, okay. That's good, that's good. The dreaded Beastmen gun line, yeah, it's a thing. See, I don't like how Vampire Coast is moving. Poison Ducky's looking a little bit suspicious over there. He's like, I feel like he's gonna attack me. Like, nobody wants to fight Kamikaze Joe's army because it's very tanky. Hank Cyrus, if somebody else already casted it, I won't be casting it, but of course you're gonna get a whole new set of games tomorrow. Yeah. It was a great match. Maybe I'll take a look. If they want to send me the replay, but if somebody else casted it on their channel, I'd rather people go to their channel to watch it. I don't want to like steal someone's thunder, so. Mark, happy birthday, Turin. Thanks for the great content. Moo, thank you, Mark. Dude, get out of here with this. What is this, like, you gaze him to gash? Like, this is sketchy. Because if I go fight here, yeah, we got to try and juke with Gorbals. Okay, that did like no damage. That's fine. Let's get Malagor back here. Because yeah, if I advance, I get attacked. We need the Tomb Kings are coming for a big advance here. I just have to make sure I don't get surrounded. That's like the biggest thing here, to be honest. There goes my hero. Watch him as he goes. The funds, I think it's standard. It's like 12,400. Okay. So, yeah, vampires are here. The Beastmen, we're just chilling. Salt Lord Scuttler's incoming. Oh, God. Yeah, we'll move up a little bit. We're just kind of feeling it out. I could get some good Brace Screams, but I think I'm going to save it for the blob. He's got double Gunnery White, which is really nasty with Count Noctilus. Oh my god, and Depth Guard Polearms. Shit, that's pretty crazy. We need to wait for Kamikaze Joe to get in position. Because once Joe gets here... yeah. We can engage. Because then we can sandwich the Vampire Counts. I'm hoping the Vampire Counts will like get aggressive and engage here. Because like there's 3 undead armies. I gotta be really careful. Matter of fact, let's like rotate like this. We can potentially threaten this this Vampire Coast army a little bit. The vampires have no anti-air, so they're going to have to deal with that. We have like a good old-fashioned standoff here. Yeah, but bombers aren't going to be very good against this Tomb King's army. The halberds might be okay, but yeah, I don't know. A little bit shady for sure. So let's go ahead and get some raiders up. So we're going to bring 2 units of raiders up. Yeah, the vampires are instantly like coming after me here. Because they know they're just getting valued right now. So this is good. Make them come to us. And the Tomb Kings can come for the flank. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's still streaming it right now. But yeah, we'll be streaming tomorrow, the round of 4. The poor vampire counts. Don't worry, boys, on my way. Yeah, I'm sure he's coming soon. All right, so let's get our little raiders. We can have them start moving up here and just, you know, poking some shots. We're getting popped by the Gunnery Whites, which is a little bit annoying, of course. But we got a good old-fashioned 3-way fight here. Gorbles, we could definitely get some work in. Let's go ahead and get the raiders and start shooting the Depth Guard Polearms. It looks like they're going to pull back here. Yeah, I don't want to get flanked by these guys. Like, my leadership's already very low. So if I get flanked, I'm just going to get karate chopped. Like, my army will buckle like a piece of paper. It's got Heinrich Kemmler on foot. It's fine. Alright, shoot you guys. And then we can position you like so. Start blasting. We don't want Gorbles to take shots either. Let's go ahead and move my raiders over here and over here to support. Hey, very good. All right, Death Guard aren't armored, so yeah, we got to pull back now. We got to pull back because we're about to get attacked by the vampires. Heinrich better be careful. If he overextended into my lines, Gorbel's gonna give it to you. Yeah. See, now they're coming for us. It looks like there's a summon. It's a good thing we pulled back. Good. We need those two armies to fight. We need the also need the Tomb Kings to kind of get busy too. All right, pulling back. Looks like the vampires should be attacking the coast here in a minute. So we could pile in some gores. What are these? Zombies and skeletons. It's fine. Get some of you guys moving up, and get these two raiders over here. Minotaurs can go support there. We did juke out the summon, which is good. All right, Gorbles can go prepare for the cat fight. And yeah, this is good. They're fighting now. So now we can get in and get down and dirty. Send in the gores here to go kind of chop down these zombies, and we can just basically form a screen with those two units. All right, let's go, gore herds. Give me some points. Get Papa some points. These guys are screening the pigs. Minotaur is screening too. And yeah, we can get these two shooting at the corpse guard there, and then these guys can position like so. And yeah, I think we're good. All right, excellent. So yeah, now we're getting some value. It's slow, it's steady. But yeah, I mean, this is good. We're getting points. Can't complain. Not going to use any spells. We don't need it yet. Looks like the undead are sending some stuff in here, so we're getting a good engagement. The forces of the vampires are having to fight some kind of ugly fights here. Looks like Heinrich Kemmler is actually having some serious problems. Gorbles, you can fight the Cryptors here. Malagor, pull back. And yeah, I'm going to save a lot of my armor-piercing stuff for the Tomb Kings that are coming. And it looks like Blood Knights might want to try and charge right up the pipe. So I'm going to just get some little dudes there and see what they can do. You guys can just shoot at the Blood Knights here, or maybe the Bargulfs a little bit better. We need to get these guys back. Okay, they're coming in for a blob fight, I think, which is good. It's kind of what we want. All right, Minotaurs charge, Pigs charge, everyone charge. Unfortunately, I ate the charge in the face, but we should be okay. We should be fine. So let's go ahead and drop the Traderkin right here, which will hit everything. That'll do some big damage for sure. And the Gorbulls pile in and pile in. So we got the Traderkin. There's going to be some sort of a Winds of Death or something. We need to get away with Malagor. Pigs can go after Krell. And yeah, look at that. We wrecked those Blood Knights. The Traderkin did so much damage. Holy shit. All right, so yeah, they're also being flanked by the Vampire Coast, which is not good for them. We're getting a lot of points here, though. Let's go. Get on that Vargulf. Although, wow, look at this. We got Heinrich Kemmler in there. He's getting a little crazy. If I had another Traderkin, holy shit. All right, so pull back, reorganize our forces. Now we can start shooting at the Necromancers here. We can get the Pigs going in to intercept them. And the Minotaurs with Grey Weapons can also intercept them. Cool, so Heinrich Kemmler is actually almost dead. Looks like my two Minotaurs were able to get some big damage, which I'm happy about. And yeah, the Tomb Kings definitely should get involved, or else they're just going to lose. They're not going to get enough points. My army's taking a beating, but it's not too bad. It seems like we're okay. Malagor is still around. We're going to save up our wins, just let it get to full. Might as well try and be efficient with that. And the Pigs are good. Yeah, we just got the two corpse cards. We are doing really, really good on points here. Kevin Duran, thanks for becoming a member. Appreciate it. Yeah, Heinrich Kemmler's crumbling. He's got like 200 HP. The last of the Blood Knights are fighting here. Vargulf's going down. We're getting so many points off these guys. All right, let's just shoot the Vargulf. Shoot the Vargulf. Okay, we need to start shooting the Bloody Reaver Depth Guard. And let's get Malagor over. Let's get some Pigs over. And the Gorbulls need to get out now. We don't want to stay here for the Tomb Kings fight. We need to, like, Tokyo drift out of here. Super hard. Let's go, guys. Let's go. Send in some Spear Chaff just to occupy them. Pull back the Ungor Raiders, like, over here. And send in some of you guys to fight. Ungor Raiders we can go after with the Salt Lord Scuttlers. Or we can go after the Salt Lord Scuttlers. All right. Did we get the Minotaurs out? We did. Okay, cool. So we got out successfully. We'll send in Spears to replace them. The Pigs stand ready, although unfortunately those bombers are really just destroying us. I don't know if we have any way of actually stopping them. Granted, they're not going to be good against like our Minotaurs and shit, but it's still, you know, something to consider. All right, shoot. Shoot everything. Shoot everything you have at them. Go, bring them down. Let's go after the gun line in the back. Gorbulls are back. It looks like we successfully got out. So now basically our opponents here are fighting each other, which is what we want. And we're just going to kind of sit back with most of our stuff. We could send in some cheap spears to like accrue some points. We got to look for Traderkins. Oh, that Traderkin is going to be so good. Walmart Final Transmutation, I summon thee. All right, let's move forward. Get on the gun line. Go get on the gun line here. So I just nailed a huge final Traderkin here. We got the whole force. Oh, that's so good. So we're just going to save up for another one now. Unfortunately, the bombers are just destroying us. There's not a whole lot we can do about that. Yeah. Armor targets that we can isolate. Let's see. Gorbles are okay. They're sitting pretty. We need to get on the gunnery whites. So let's go ahead and get the 2 Gorbles to go after the gunnery whites here. I think that's going to be smart. And the raiders here can just keep peppering into whatever the hell they can shoot. Yeah, shoot the Sphinx. Why not? It's points. You guys can rotate around the side, see if you can isolate anything. And Gorbles should be able to hurt the gunnery whites pretty bad in combat. Yeah. So, all right. We got 2 Gorbles on the gunnery white. Yeah, look at the damage. That gunnery white's getting the business. We have Razor Gores moving in. I think all our infantry here are broken, more or less. Malagor's doing some work. All right, so we have the Titan. The Titan is isolated by itself, and we have a bunch of anti-large. So let's go ahead and move in. Get these infantry around the back. Gorble. Wow, Gorble gonna give it to you, dude. Look at that. We just dunked on that guy. All right. Wow, is the Bray Herd gonna win an FFA with a bunch of undead? Wow, look at how quick the Titan's going down to the Minos with great weapons. It's almost like the Beastmen are doing something good. But again, guys, Beastmen aren't a bad faction. They're just a little bit dated. They can still compete. They can still compete. All right, do we want to overcast a Traderkin over here? I think we save it. So let's kind of rotate around. We don't want to lose the Gorbles here. This is a little bit unfortunate. Let's get some infantry in if we can. So the Titan is almost dead, actually. Our Minotaurs with the Great Weapons are bringing that bad boy down. We have some Raiders coming back, so let's go ahead and get them moving. And, God, Gorble. Gorble, we need you. Okay, we need this Gorble to live. I can't afford to lose both Gorbles. Yeah, because Noctilus is a decent anti-large character, so... Okay, 1 Gorble's down. The other one's okay. We need to get you back now. Raiders can start shooting into the flyers here. We're doing good on points, but so too is Poison Ducky. So what we need to do now is help the Tomb Kings. We need to kill Poison Ducky together. So then basically I can just win on points. That's the whole MO there. With all these Raiders moving back in, we can start shooting at the deck dropper bombers here. Or we could even just shoot the gunnery white, to be honest. We could charge it with Gorble. Minotaurs with the Great Weapons are hustling. We're saving Upper Winds of Magic so we can get more Traderkins. And yeah. So we just gotta help the Tomb Kings. Yeah. That's it. Friendship has begun with the Tomb Kings here. We'll go get on that gunnery white, see if we can. Because the Tomb Kings don't have enough points to catch us, so as long as we eliminate the... although this Traderkin is too good not to take. So let's move up here. We're going. Pigs can jump on you. Minos with Great Weapons can just slam jam, space jam into the back of this blob here. And we can almost reach that, which is good. Alright, how are the Raiders doing? It looks like they're a little bit stacked up, which is unfortunate. Let's go ahead and shoot the gunnery white or the bombers here. Now we can go ahead and drop this. Yeah, that'll kill a lot of the depth guard too, so I think it's worth it. Get him! Oh yeah, we got it. Nice one. So we hit everything there. We still have a Brace Scream too. And man, those bombers have just been devastating for us. Alright, move it in. Move it on in. Let's go over here. Minotaurs with Great Weapons are about to kill this gunnery white. Let's go, baby! Let's get him! Yeah! Bring down the gunnery white. You know, Malagor's actually been kind of a beast this game. He hasn't been bad by any stretch of the imagination. Alright, let's go, Gorble. Get the Minotaurs out. We don't want them fighting Noctilus. It's a huge losing fight. But we need to bring down those freaking deck dropper bombers. Man, oh man, they have been nasty this game. Go, Gorble. Pull back. Regroup. Oh, it's such a close game. It's such a close game. I don't know. The gunnery whites are gone. So the bats are going to actually run out of ammo now, which is good. We can actually go for a bit of an alpha strike on Noctilus. Can even get the Crowfather in there. Or we could let him fight the other units. So he's charging, which is good, which means we can actually... Okay, let's just pull back. Pull back here. Nice, nice. Okay, retreat. Kind of get your bearings here. Shoot the deck dropper bombers. Let's go ahead and just pile in and fight. Although it's kind of dicey, to be honest. We need some support. We need some dudes, some bodies. Go forth, my deathless minions. Oh, Noctilus. He's playing dangerously here. He could get circle beaten by all my characters. Yeah, those Minotaurs with the Great Weapons are not slouches. Looks like some of the bats have pulled back, but yeah, Nocti's doing pretty good. He's taking out my Gorble. Can I get enough? Another Traderkin is the question. Come on, Minotaurs. Do it. Okay, they're intercepting us, which is fine. Should be able to kill him really quick, hopefully. Minotaurs and the Birdman here are trying their best. Oh, we're so close on points. Yeah, looks like the Gorble's in a little bit of trouble. Spear charge into Noctilus. He's so hard to kill. Such a raid boss. Okay, those are shut down. Come on! Get Count Noctilus, RNG! Be on my side. Okay, we're almost at another Traderkin, actually. We're going to get it, 1 per 19. Looks like Noctilus will go down here, potentially. Yeah, those 2 Minotaurs, man, doing the work. Come on. Come on. Oh, give me the one. Oh, no. It stopped right before I was able to get it. Okay, now we just got to do this. We got to do the Brace Scream. Super haggard, but it'll potentially do some work. All right, Gorbel, pull back. Oh, my God. Gorbel. Get in there. Fight. Fight my minions. Oh, there's so much shit. Oh, God, if I could have gotten enough wins for that Traderkin, that would have been so good. I think Malagor's going to die here. No, Gorbel. Use your peacock wings to get away. Sad mooing noises. Sad mooing noises. Come on. Use your peacock wings. Oh, halt. Halt. Okay. They get the brace off. Oh, yeah. Okay. 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 We have another Brace Scream. Let's do this. Hit those guys. Boom shakalaka. Did we get any points for that? I don't think so. Okay. This is good. Okay, so now, if Noctilus doesn't get more points here, I think I win. Yes. Yes, don't let him get more points. No. No. Bad. Where are you, my cows? Come on, baby. No. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Come on, peacock wings. Let's go. You got those wings for a reason. Happy mooing noises. Happy mooing noises. You ain't gonna catch this. I have wings. Noctilus doesn't. Shouldn't be able to catch me. Oh. Oh, God. Oh, he's so close to catching me on points. Okay, halt. Hopefully these guys will hold. Okay, looks like shit's crumbling. Gorbel might come back, too. You are not gonna get this. You will not get this. Come on, Spears. I need you to defeat those Haggard deck choppers. Let's go. Let's go. Okay, this is good for us. We're getting some points. I'm pretty sure the Ungors are winning. We got some crumbling. Let's go, Ungors. Prove your worth. Noctilus thinks he's going to catch me. Not on my life. Oh, man. He might get enough points off my other unit, but these Ungors are holding valiantly. Actually killing all of his deck choppers. Oh, and the Ushopti summon from Kamikaze Joe. Look at that. Oh, baby. Yes. How are you guys doing? These guys are doing some serious work. Oh, my God. We're in hot pursuit over. Oh, and then Noctilus. Okay, Noctilus needs to get owned here, though. Because if he gets enough points from fighting those monsters. Look at these Ungor spears. They fended him off and got me like... Okay. Oh, baby, I think we did it. Okay, Malagor's coming back now. We've ran away from Noctilus. Look at Poison Ducky. He's like, no. He was so close because now I pretty much guaranteed win, I think. Yeah, because the Fellbats are crumbling, so we'll get the bird in here. I mean, yeah, that certainly helps, but Noctilus never would have caught me anyways because I have 43 speed and he has 36. So there was no way Noctilus could catch me. Eventually, he would have had to fight the Tomb Kings. Joe with the heroic plays, though, for sure. Alright, so Big Bird's fighting now. Obviously, we have Arkin, we have a Necrotex, a lot of scary stuff. Malagor did good this game. What's his value? It's probably like... Wow, 3,600 value Malagor. It's like the bravest Malagor play ever. The Ungors deserve a promotion. Yeah, they could be Gors now. Let's just keep them moving. A little bit of lag here. The laser eye finish. I know. Poor Red Devil got surrounded. He got sandwiched. If he had attacked me quicker, it might not have gone as bad, but... Yeah. Alright, let's go after the Necrotex, see if we can hit him. Get some points, not that it matters. Ooh, man. Big lag spike just hit pretty hard. Yeah, Joe is saying a little bit of a point lead there. Yeah, I know. Well, the Ungors are coming to you. Oh, guys, I think the Bray Herd got it. Sorry about the lag, but man. We Poison Ducky will be out here in a moment. They're the new recruits for the Destroyers of Drakul. They are. Ah, man, somebody just... There was no lag up until this point. It's a good thing, too. This would have been a pretty brutal one to have that lag session with. Well, my friends, looks like it's just Joe and I. Stand still there, Joe, on the way. Poison Ducky says, so close yet so far away. I know. Or head to the middle. GG. Dude, that was a crazy game. One more Traderkin? No, it wouldn't be enough. That Titan's too healthy, because that's like 4,000 HP. Traderkin would do like a little bit. Hopefully these things just break and the battle will just be over here. Come on. Beastmen apparently are, Beastmen, due to this empirical evidence, Beastmen are clearly better than Tomb Kings, Vampire Coast, and Vampire Count, so I think they should just cancel any DLC plans they have for them. Clearly they're fine. Yeah. Yeah, sorry about the lag here, guys. It was really good up until the end. There you go. That's it. It's over. Man, that is some serious lag. My goodness. Okay, that should be it. The Bray Herd! We claim victory! Let's get your best moves in chat. No longer are they sad moves. We actually had the biggest percentage of our army remaining too, which is cool. 3,600 value on Homeboy here. 2,100 on that Gorbel, 2,000 there. Like, pretty good value across the board, honestly. Great Weapons did okay, 1,900 and 1,100 too. Yeah, it was a fun one. For Joe, yeah, pretty average across the board on value, but he had some heroic epic plays at the end. Joe definitely did some good work. Poor Red Devil just got sandwiched. Not a whole lot he could do there. And Poison Ducky's army was very scary, actually. The Gunnery White's got good value, but Gorbel's taking out the Gunnery White was super clutch. Yeah, oh my god. Look at the value on the Halberd. Hey, Hank, if you tell them to send it to me, sure, I will. Alright. There you go. GG, happy moos. And with that, my friends, we will be concluding today's stream on a happy cow noise note. If you want to take a look at the brackets one more time, I think I actually closed them. So you can go rewind back like 15 minutes and see them. But the group stages, the elimination rounds are still going. One more stream. And then after that, we'll have our grand finals for the Legendary Lord Tournament, which is going to be quite exciting. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the games today. It was a lot of fun. Big thanks to you guys for some very generous donations. So we got Kevin Duran, we got Mark, we have San Q, T. Carter, Italian Spartacus, Leslie Chartrand, Christian Gonzalez, Attila, Chris Zimmerman with a huge hundy. Chris, thank you so much, man. Tyler Wilson with the 20. Par Anderson, Frostlight. Here comes that boy. Thank you so much. All right, guys. That is it. I really appreciate you all. We'll be back tomorrow with Warhammer World Championship. I don't know why that was a tongue twister all of a sudden. But we're going to be doing the quarterfinals. So there will be 4 best of 5s, I believe. And then after that, we'll know who's in the grand finals, which will be 2 best of 5s and a best of 7, if I'm not mistaken, the following weekend, which I'm super hyped for. So, all right, guys, that is it. There should be an achievement for winning an FFA's Beastman against All Undead. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. That's it. Take care. Stay safe. We'll be back tomorrow. Warhammer World Championship is on the horizon. I'm super hyped. And again, really appreciate all you guys. It was a super fun tournament. And man, go back and check out these games if you didn't see them. There were some crazy upsets in today's event. So we'll see you next time, guys, and take care.